We're good? All righty. All right, probably need some refresher as we go through this again. But just to get started, the first is the call to order. Right, so we're here, we're in order. I'm gonna do the roll. All right, we're doing this correct?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna get started with the roll. First, George Alvarez.
Present.
Magali Rubio.
Rodolfo Blanco is not here. We know who's not here. Eric Brandon, not here. Stephen Brimo,
Yes, sir.
Matthew Casamayor, it's me present. Josellano,
Yes, sir.
Jessica Medina, not present. Manuel Perez,
Present.
Romy, not present. Andrea Riccici.
Here.
Magali Rubio, we said. John Tingle. And new Carlos Padilla.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Carlos.
You introduce yourself, Mr. Padilla?
How do we spell this one?
Yes, for sure.
P?
P-A-D-I-L-L-A.
I got it.
My name is Carlos Padilla. I'm 36 years old. I'm one of the owners of Chelsea Garden.
Oh, very good.
So I've been living also here in Miami Lakes for the past 17 years. So I'm really interested in all the economic development of Miami Lakes, and that's why I'm here.
Welcome.
And I'm here to support anything that we can do together.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. And I really would like hard.
Yeah, let me know too that Jessica Medina is here. I know exactly.
We got a stone piece there.
Sorry,
It's a
Sam.
heck of a series, right?
So. We're missing, let's put this in the minutes now.
Yeah, we're missing Romy,
Missing Romy.
Eric Brandon, Rodolfo Blanco, Rudy, and that was it, right? Yeah. Those three. It's not too bad. All right, cool. So move on to orders of business, deferrals, additions, deletions. Does anybody have anything extra before we continue? Nothing? The only other thing that I can think of that I wanted to discuss that Jonathan reached out to me about was the memo that we have to give to the council. I believe it's in a couple weeks, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's something that I want to discuss, I guess, in terms of the new business. We can get to that when we get there. Cool. So we can move on to public comments. We have Danny here today.
Hello, my name is Andrew Gonzalez. I'm a resident of the town my whole life. My family lives here and I work for with my mother, who is a Dr. Madeline Castellanos. We have a small dental practice in front of a Palmetto Hospital. So technically it's outside of the jurisdiction of Miami Lakes, but we're like right off of Palmetto, close enough. But yeah, that's just really actually here. It's a pleasure.
What parents and grandparents are Miami Lake residents. So
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah,
understand.
Danny as well. His whole life.
Used to be my doctor.
Yeah, and Danny's interested in also joining
Yeah.
the committee and all that kind of stuff, so I wanted to get him through the steps. Yeah. Means. All right, cool. So now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Do we do anything specific for this or just? Stamp approval?
Well, you got two. You got two sets.
Okay, cool. So a motion to approve then, the regular meeting with elections, that first meeting on 1/17.
I'll give this, so I can't give a second on that one. It's Andrea and Steve.
And Jose.
Oh, Jose, okay.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then we go on to the next one, the regular meeting. This is the one last week where we had to kind of cut it short. We didn't really go over anything, last month. We didn't go over anything too specifically.
Means you have a veteran.
Oh, students.
Yeah, that meeting actually helped.
February 21.
That's why I wasn't
They
sure.
didn't have quorum, but they still need to be reflected in the, I guess, in the public.
Yeah, we didn't really discuss anything. We just kind of
Yeah.
started the meeting. Basically all that really happened.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Second.
How are you?
You weren't here
I'm not sure how we did it last time, though.
on the last
I know we're talking about, George and I were doing this last time. If we didn't have a quorum, we didn't have a meeting, all we did was just notice that.
Okay,
We put nothing below that.
Okay.
Well, it's only because there were discussions. There was a presentation, like there were no voting actions.
Yeah, we just had a surprisingly amount of public people that day. We had Carlos, we had Tico, we had somebody from Freebie also speaking. We had a decent amount of people.
So would there be a motion? So we don't have to approve them.
So yeah, you do.
We do, and it's like we have a meeting.
Well,
We didn't have-
there's still discussion, so any sort of discussion still needs to be. It's a meeting of more than one person, which is a sunshine meeting. It was voted to the public. We didn't cancel it. It's not like.
Whatever happened.
Yeah, there were no voting actions, but the discussion is going to be, it was still discussions amongst the committee. Presentations from the public and those discussions and words do need to.
But it never went live,
No, I believe it did go live.
did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, it did, it did. But
Trust me, we've had the non-quorum meeting.
You know, there-
Does it need to be reflected for minutes? Yeah.
Okay, I motion to approve.
I'll second.
Cool, so all in favor? Cool. All right, so then we have the budget listed here, but do we have anything prepped on that yet? John? No.
There's no update.
Cool.
I guess actually, I still haven't gotten the W9. I know. I can
Wanna
reach out,
step in?
What do I need?
I
What do you
did,
need?
I give up,
I can let you know what I need a W9 from.
Rufino,
Rufino?
that last thing, like,
That's the only thing that would affect the budget.
who seconded the last motion?
I can do it.
Second. Jessica was.
Cool. All right, so we're good there on the budget. We'll move on to old business. All right, this is old business, so this from a few months ago, but we had the last networking event, which was Scapa Mi Vitro on the January 25th. We talked about it then. I think this is one of the things we discussed in the last meeting, but I wasn't sure if we did that payment form for the,
That's the one.
that's what we needed the W-9 for? Okay, cool. Sweet.
Just so we can get that.
So I'll route that back to that. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So we know it's for that. All right, up next is the January newsletter analytics data report. And we have that ready right now.
Yeah, that'll be, it's noted as page 9. That's going to be pages 9 to 12. I don't know if these numbers look much different from the.
Yeah, let's see if I have the old one here.
I believe it was our October edition that went out. And we looked at our numbers and they weren't, that motivating. This year. Did you all look through the newsletter, the newest one that came out? Well, I guess not newest, but in January, that edition?
Yeah.
Did you guys have any feedback or? Cause I did change the way it looked a little bit. But it's still not getting like, the most opens from our business newsletter audience list, so I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on what we could or should do.
I think there was some feedback about the subjects, right? I think it's on there somewhere where they, some subjects got more attention out of it. It might be on one or something. I remember seeing something about that.
I'd see which links were clicked more and
Well, there's the one about, because Jessica and then Thomas and Tingle and Casey Graphics are the ones that opened about most. That's interesting. Too. I don't know. I don't know about
Whatever that is.
Busted.
How did I get on the list for that? That was
it's this representing.
No, it is. Every time, it's like, I don't go to 15 lives.
Don't lie, Jessica. I think the numbers don't lie.
She loves it.
Yeah, she loves the newsletter.
I did include, because we had the upcoming, the networking social, and that did get the most clicks, so I think including events is gonna be a really good thing to do. Cause.
Yeah, the most clicks was that
click.
event right now, the networking social, and even unique clicks too, so it's not just ego clicking it a bunch.
Do you
Like a
typically
show.
refer to your father as a stranger?
I feel like saying body, it's weird, some people don't know
Yeah,
that,
like that.
they're like, oh, who's that?
Do we have?
Maybe they know.
Yeah, you see, you didn't know that, that's why,
So actually, Carlos, I can send you the topics for our newsletter and I can see. Because all the subjects and the topics are already sort of filled right now. I can see what we did in the past and then we trimmed the fat on a lot of our topics.
Mhm.
So if any of them appeal to you, then maybe we can have another addition to the newsletter, so.
Cool. When was the last time we went over all those topics? Like what it is that we write about?
Last year.
For those are, for our October. No,
I mean, we can always revisit that because there's different people here.
Yeah, maybe there's something fresh, cool to write about too, especially with all the new stuff that's coming in and like new restaurants, new places, like it could be something cool.
right.
It could be something on that line.
Yeah, like recent ribbon cuttings. I know we discussed that. Probably being another topic that we could do, like the most recent ribbon cutting and the upcoming ribbon cuttings.
Cool. Yeah, get the brain churning. That's why I want to think about that for the next time. Maybe we
Yeah,
can figure something out, like
The next one's
to spice
coming
it
out.
up a little bit. Include events, like feature them kind of more since that's getting all the clicks, or not all of them, but what's getting the most unique amount of clicks seems to be that, the business stuff. The new businesses, BNI, it looks like.
The submission for the April one is gonna be the 7th.
That's before our next meeting.
That is important.
I gotta do that too.
You wanna go through who you're missing?
I kind of throw everything into a folder,
Okay.
so I don't have it like explicitly.
Excuse me, I need to be excused. I have a house that is flooding.
Okay.
I need to go to Florida immediately. Okay, no, wait until tomorrow. I'm so sorry.
Good luck, Sally.
Take the rainbow.
I can send out a few more like poking reminders on what's in there.
Money everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So I think we're good there on the January newsletter for now. We can move on to the BTR list follow-up. Okay, cool. So this is what we were just talking about before we started. So this is the new ribbon cuttings that are coming out. I'm gonna talk to Joseph about getting everybody here involved and invited to the ribbon cutting. Right now, we already did it with everybody that's in the board of the chamber. We got him to add all those people. I think it would be great if we could add everyone here, because we started now with the recent ribbon cuttings. I mean, I go to all of them, the mayor, Tico goes to them all. Yeah.
May you also, when you speak with him, ask him to give us a heads up.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's what he's-
He does, no, like, right now, I just got the ones for next week. So I just want to have it so he includes everybody from the EDC as well,
Right.
because we started to include more people from the board of the chamber. And it looks great when we just have at least, one extra person show up, and it just, it adds a little bit more depth to it.
I
So we
remember
also
getting
have more-
invites like a day before,
Oh, really?
the same day.
That one, sure, I had to invite sometimes the day before.
Yeah, no, that's fine,
Or
but
the day of.
recently, at least, with these past few invites for this year, at least, we've been getting them pretty well in advance, at least the ones we did for Pizza Scene and all that, and we're already planning the one for the new place, right across, I'm forgetting the name right now, the Amazonia. There we go, and we're working on that, and it's well in advance, so that's why I want to get us all involved there, so I'll talk to Joseph about that too. To get everybody involved, and if you guys can make it, that'd be cool, here and there, obviously you don't have to make it to everything, but it'd be cool here and there, and hey, what's up, from the EDC, welcome to the town, that kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
stuff.
gonna see about getting the ribbon cuttings back on our calendar.
Yeah, we
Like
used
the main
to.
town
Yeah,
calendar?
We used
I
to,
knew that
and
was
then
the
it
thing.
just
I was-
And pizza's, I didn't even know about.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that
At least we did reach out to Joe.
But yeah, that wouldn't hurt. I was just gonna kind of do it next time I was with him and Matt. I'd be like, hey,
I'll just bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think multiple people bothering him doesn't necessarily hurt. It's more things to remember from. But he'll get it covered. Those is awesome. Cool. So we're good there. Next up is the status of the town EDC promotional videos.
I have no updates on that.
Anything on that?
I'm gonna have to reach out to Nani because it's been a while.
Yeah. what's up with that?
Cool. Yeah,
So
I mean, we
my
were,
update is no updates.
okay, cool. Am I allowed to follow up with him on that too, or no? Does that work?
I'll reach out to him and I'll
Yeah.
see you.
All right,
Yeah.
because Gunny's in our office.
Right.
So that's why, so I see him a lot.
Can't talk to him about.
Yeah, no, why, I have it.
It's a lot of weird.
But I think he was waiting for holiday stuff to go.
I believe so. I believe so.
Which was,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, he uses one of our offices. All right, cool. So we're good there. We'll just follow up with that, make sure everything's going there. I know he mentioned it to me once offhand.
Right.
That he had a draft sort of prepped. So I think he's Almost there.
Do you write some minutes on that intro?
No. No words on that one. He started talking about it, I closed my ears around. Cool, so we can move on to new business. Going to do approval any of that for the old business or no? We move on to the new business. So now we can review the local intel fourth quarter. Is that in here now?
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Approval. 24.
Yeah. And Andrew, if you wouldn't mind helping me out a little with this, I think you're a little bit more versed, right, in the local intel? Because I haven't seen much of what it is. I know it relates to that website that we've set up.
So it's
but
on our My
what it
League
is
Biz
exactly, I'm not
.net.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Net. I
But-
just remember we
but-
lost the
yeah, yeah.
original, so that's why I stumbled over it. But looks like kind of been a haphazard visit, over time. I'm curious if in October, if we did any kind of promotion or something that might have,
I think it went in our newsletter.
okay, that might have helped, because I think, I think what we've learned with our local intel is the more we're able to get those links out to kind of connect the information, it actually does get visited. And it's a really great tool for new businesses to come because ever since the update was made, it really is very dynamic and easy to read and understand. It's interesting that most people are viewing it on their desktop or through a smartphone and tablet. So
That is weird.
that is weird. We usually see the other way around, but that's also probably a good sign because that means people are really reviewing it and checking it out instead of just kind of putting buttons. I don't know.
So this is just the general
Those
analytics
numbers
then
are-
for that Mind Biz website.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Okay.
When you say it peaked in October because we may have put it on the newsletter, is that something that we continue to do, or is it just something we did that time?
If it wasn't in the January one, then I'm assuming it wasn't added to that, because there was no other peak, but also this one doesn't have the stats anywhere, so that wasn't. I can double check and make sure that we have it in the newsletter.
I mean, I opened it 15 times, I should know this, but I don't.
I guess it's sort of an aside, I'm putting together a communications strategy for the town. And in there I do have .net, as sort of a tool that people can use, it's a very long-winded explanation, but different resources, what they're good for, I have that for business, with tools and, the description of it, so it's gonna be in the public eye, more, not just in the newsletter, so.
That actually makes sense why most people opened it up on a desktop because it was
Yeah.
in the newsletter.
Yeah,
So
and I'm thinking maybe if our business newsletter audience, working people checking their email, probably at work, because our emails go out during business hours during the work week, so. I don't think that's how they install that, if I did.
But I think, one of the, I hope everyone's, if you've not visited the FinanceBiz.net website, please do go check out the local intel and play around with it. There's really cool maps that maybe can be embedded in our newsletters, which would help gain traction. One of my favorite one is actually the one that shows like the distance Miami Lakes is to the airports and everything else. I mean, they're really neat, they're dynamic. I encourage everyone to go check them out because maybe there's something that we just aren't using to the full ability, and like it's an untapped resource with regards to getting information out on how great it is.
Cool.
I can actually, I'll have it put into our monthly newsletter that the town does for events and resources and all that stuff, so.
But I think you can like embed those maps,
Yeah, I
right?
wanna see-
It's what I
Yeah,
remember from our last meeting with local intel, whoever that was, and they, there's coding that you can put in and then you can share it.
Yeah, I think,
Cool.
which
Yeah,
is
one thing we
very
can do
cool.
about having the chamber maybe push a little bit more too, just because it's
It's, I mean,
fits
it's
in that whole economic thing of, why have your business here in Miami Lakes. So maybe we can put it on that
the
page,
assets.
do an email blast about it, something. Cool.
May I ask which is the main objective of the?
So, I mean, it's really for, the My Space is the EDC website. Local intel is a feature within the website. And it has everything from workforce to demographics to, I mean, like basically add all the information that any business that would want to move to Miami Lakes would use, but also if you worked here, what resources you could tap into, essentially,
Want to open a business, but it's municipality already.
Okay,
everything.
all right. So for the new businesses that they want to open, they will have all the resources there to be able to understand statistics and stuff like that. Okay.
So basically, somebody that's looking at bringing their business into the town of Miami Lakes is going to see, there's logistical advantages to having your business here, right? There's market advantages that they're gonna give you the profile of the community highlighting, what your immediate buying power, right, is here. They're gonna talk about, what the community facilities look like, so that, somebody that's looking to open up shop somewhere
Okay.
is getting a feel for what can Miami Lakes offer them as a location that maybe somewhere else can't.
Okay.
But also for our business that's already established, you can use a lot of that information for your own marketing
Okay.
needs, because it
Yeah.
basically
because
has
it
it
gives you all
full
the
for you.
information. Exactly.
And there's a section on there too, that has like sales and special deals that that certain places offer to residents and things like that too, to kind of like promote and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
I think putting that concept on paper is in a way that people see it just the way you explained it to him, right? You have a
We do a lot.
business. You have a business, comes to this website because there's resources that you can pull to even help market your business kind of thing. I don't know of enough business owners know that. Or take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Cool. Yeah, I think that's helping.
When did we start pushing out website? Or like. I'm gonna see if we've done any, but I think the first. step
It's been
should,
a
like,
while since we did a marketing campaign, and I think that was part of the Ghani videos, was to have the videos and then,
Sure.
push the
Yeah,
website and.
I think an easy first step could be like press releases that we can make, hey, this resource is available, it exists. This is what it's good for. And then give it to them.
Yeah. I think it's something we just have to consistently push out. Like if we're putting out the newsletter consistently, that's always at the foot or you're gonna have to, one of the
Yeah.
first things you see. Because people forget things, or they just don't look at something. I mean, that's how it works. Social media emails, you scan it for 2 seconds
Yeah.
and that's it.
That's it.
So that's why, so it helps to include it more. That's why I want to do it for the chamber as well. And on our website for the chamber too, we have an economic development section. I want to see if we can include a link to this, like, oh, if you want to learn more, click here and just stuff like that. Cool.
It's a good resource.
No, that's why, yeah, people just don't know. The main problem.
We have a question. On the Miami Lakes biz or biz.net, there is a link that says Miami Lakes Business e-newsletter. But when you click on it, you think that you see your newsletter, but you don't. It's something else.
This website's not managed by local Rinsa, right? They just have that third party thing in
I'll look into that one. Yeah.
It just lists like all the meetings.
there. Yeah, do we even have
Yeah,
the newsletter
it goes-
existing? Somewhere separate other than in people's inboxes? And that's what we have to link there. Like a PDF or something.
December 2021.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why that website is not like consistently up to date. Yeah, that's why like it needs to be. Like, I feel like you can really go into the specials and things like that for local residents, and that's how you can get citizens to kind of look at it, is that by going deeper into that.
Who manages the website, Jonathan?
Actually.
Okay, well, the email that's listed on the website, like if you're a business in Miami Lakes and you want to list your business promo on here, the email is D Cardenas.
That's clear, so.
Okay.
It's D Carden?
DE, no.
De Cardenas.
No, it's
The
De
Cardenas
Cardenas
C.
C,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, I'll talk to Clarissa then, because if we can have, I'm assuming we have access to back end if she's a contact, then I think we should. Be able to update the newsletter.
Cool. Yeah, definitely if we're gonna push it and stuff. We want people to be there.
Yeah,
That's a good call. All right, cool. So I think we're good there. Now we can move on to the exciting part. So there's the organic groceries letter.
Oh,
So
we've been waiting so long. to address
exciting.
this.
So this is the letter that the EDC, we were tasked with it a little bit ago. With creating a letter to entice organic grocers like Sprouts, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, those kind of people into taking a look, a gander into the town. About possibly potentially building a store there. Well, we discussed it very briefly at the last meeting, so I guess it's why the minutes kind of mattered. That we wanted to go over it, of course, with everybody, just so we can get the stamp of approval with quorum. And also, we wanted Andrea's input a little bit as well, since you've got so much of the background in terms of the actual land, you know? So that's kind of it, because the draft that I kind of set up is on the back page, if you flip your agenda over. The draft that I kind of set up, it's vague with a little bit of specifics into what the town does and what we do for businesses and all that kind of stuff, but there's really no depth in terms of your business over looking at the economics of it and, you know, the land of it, or, you know, because I don't really know anything about that. So I just kind of kept it broad in terms of, you know, this is what we do in terms of health, our, you know, our citizens, our constituents are focused on this, you know, health related, this is why they care, this is why they shop here, you know, but I don't have anything too specific in terms of like data, you know, in terms of like, you know, we have people with this amount of income, you know, your stores, you know, people that shop at your stores have this amount of income, you know, we have this amount of land available, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know how much we want to include in that in the first place, you know? So I kind of leave it up to you guys. I don't know if we want to go through this letter together or what the move is.
The GDP for the town, I think it's pretty high compared to other municipalities. Local income.
Cool.
Local income, right?
Not sure how often it is, but yeah, it does.
I mean, this is a nice letter. I think you kind of repeated yourself a couple of times. There's no criticism because you did the work in this, please.
No, yeah, but I was just like, huh? A letter?
No, but you keep re-emphasizing Miami Lakes is home to a highly educated, diverse, multicultural and skilled talent pool for your
So give
business.
some substance to that.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, so cut it down a little bit.
Cut it down a little bit, you know.
Gotcha.
We do have national companies here, Andrea, don't we? In the pharma space, don't we have national companies, like well-known national
Like Cordis Caterpillar.
Cordis Caterpillar, maybe we should mention some of the. We're just a very shy, low-key, you know, little banking concern compared to what's out there. But maybe we should mention some of the big boys we have already as corporate residents here. Let them know that, you know,
Yeah, there's other big boys
there's
here.
other big boys in town. This is not, you know.
No, I like that.
You
Do you
know,
guys have any examples of those Caterpillar? 'Cause I'm just writing this down so I can.
Cordis, Caterpillar, Cordis,
Cummins,
at least 15 banking institutions located in Miami Lakes.
I think one of the most important things to highlight is Miami Lakes. It like, I think it would be like a good like one-liner, like despite, you know, what's Miami Lakes, what's the total square mile radius of the town of Miami Lakes? How much could it possibly be?
6 miles, 6 square miles.
6 square miles?
32,000.
Okay, so you know, within the small confines of our 6 square miles, we boast, you know, all of these major retailers. We
Yeah.
have 15 national banks.
Yeah.
We have, you know, every major food chain you could possibly imagine. I mean, name them, we have them all, practically all. You know, so basically saying like, anybody has a retail location in the town of Miami Lakes.
And also.
You know, I'm sorry, how many major supermarkets do we have? We have Publix, Winn-Dixie.
2 regionals.
That's it? Okay.
The local Intel website, is it current? Because I haven't looked at it
Yes.
in a long while.
It's live. Like,
It
it's
has,
trying to
it
pull
has
everything from the
up-to-date
census.
statistics
Yeah.
and everything.
Database.
We should.
We can put them to the chat too, yeah.
Confirm to that, you
Yeah.
know? Since it's live and it's current. I mean, that's what it's for, I think.
I think it has, you know, a lot of census information.
Right.
Whatever we have.
Right.
And I think also mentioned that the grocery stores that we currently have, like Winn-Dixie and Publix, if we have certain data, is of number of people that are coming or how much they sell or what ranking they have through, the state of Florida. So they can understand because they also see what's the share market that they currently have. And they know how much they can take from that information.
Yep.
Matthew, and
Yes.
also the point you make here. Where we probably have one of the lowest tax bases,
He mentions that.
we should kind of expand on that.
Okay.
Because I'm sure they're gonna wanna see that coming in, I don't know what Andrea, what the protocols are for new businesses coming in and. How much they pay, I think there was one time we had discussion on traffic and. Millage and all that type of stuff, right?
The town question.
The town question, right? So I said our Graham company's question.
Cool.
Maybe I know there's a lot of units under construction right now. As
Yeah.
far as speaking, so as far as how many additional residents are gonna be here. In the next 4 months.
And then new projects that are coming into the town.
Okay, my question is. Where do I necessarily find all this data, other than local intel? Like the stuff for the ranking of the current grocers, potential increase in residents and things like
You're
that?
not gonna find them.
Yeah, so where do
They probably have that.
Right, yeah, that's the
You'll
hard
find
part.
out which public, which ranks and stuff, it's not, for sales per store.
Yeah.
Look, if they're gonna-
Find it, but it's not-
Number of.
If they're gonna come down, they're gonna do their own analysis, They're gonna do their own.
No, but this is just to give them like a sort of,
Yeah.
look what we got now.
It's basically saying come from it, like.
That we're working.
I take a look.
Yeah.
Take a
Yeah,
look.
I don't know that.
I don't know that we
These
have-
owners aren't gonna be coming, like they have brokers that go and they.
Right.
So I mean,
I'm thinking we better go to, let them like national,
we were asked to send the letter to this.
no, yes, you're right.
I don't know that it has to be so info packed.
Right.
It really is more so just
So maybe-
come check it out,
It's an introduction.
like the footnotes,
Yeah.
this is what we have. They probably don't need to know how many long-term rentals there are and what people are.
No, I mean, rental, I mean, just.
Yeah.
No, I'm just,
I mean, like,
Yeah.
increasing.
Potential
population.
growth, yeah.
yeah.
Like, you see
It's not-
the
it's not
population
transaction
growing by
for-
$1,000,
It's
$500,
you know, sales
I get it,
and traffic.
I get the idea. Cool.
So
If you want some help, I'm happy to help you take a stab at it.
Cool, yeah, I mean, the hard thing for me really is just gathering the data, like making sure that it's all factual, that's really the only thing. When it comes to writing, I can do that, no problem, it's just the, plugging in the right stuff, I wanna make sure I'm not just, blowing air at them.
I'll send Jonathan a list of companies.
Cool.
Yeah, just a general comment though, this started last year.
Yeah, that's fine.
Many of our subjects, and we're getting around to it now, and that was a pretty good job, I thought.
You did a really good job.
Yeah, I think it was very good, but what happened in the last year and what's happening now with Winn-Dixie's, Publix and Walmart and everybody else. If you go to YouTube, it's disaster zone. We don't hear it so much here because we're so privileged to be in Miami, a place that's going forward,
Mhm.
in Florida too, in general.
You mean by their layoffs and whatnot?
Yeah, big
Oh.
time, a big time. From last year to this year, that subject might be more difficult to sell. I don't know if we could change that later. I think it's fine the way it is, plus the little changes we were talking about, but the atmosphere has changed. Whether these people are gonna be interested in opening up a place that already has two, Winn-Dixie, Publix and Sprouts and everybody else all around the area. It might be a little bit hard to sell today. But I think we should try anyway. I think if we just update this a little bit, I could,
Yeah.
because I remember doing these things forever. The Caterpillars and the Cummins and everybody else. But I think the atmosphere has changed. That might be a negative.
Yeah.
Time being. So I don't want to put that in it's not necessarily sweet agendas, but just as a general discussion, that's what's happening.
You're gonna mention competition or these other, why voters got a huge fulfillment center across, block in the airport. I drove by there, where the office is behind them. And they're actually a truck time. There's no physical There's no retail presence, but they're out there doing the delivery.
Yeah, because they're delivering now.
I mean, I don't know for this letter if we include any negatives just yet. Since we're trying to entice in the first place, so I feel like for this one.
I think it's a positive.
Oh, for that, okay. Okay. I'm gonna go over real quick, just a little notes I took down, just so we can verify what I'm gonna add to this. Because we need this when, Jonathan? Yeah, but when you need it for like the official, and then you said April something.
I did mention the deadline, right?
Yes, you did.
I'll get back to you. I want to say it's,
It was before the next meeting, right? Because I just wanna, because I'm gonna apply changes to this.
I believe the deadline, because we want to get it to the council, the deadline for us to submit things to council, I believe is the 31st.
Okay.
So on Friday.
Oh, this Friday.
The pressure, man.
I'll double check the date with you. Why I want it.
Okay, cool. So that leads me to the next question then. So if I apply these edits I'm gonna go over right now, do we need to get another seal of approval?
That's what I was gonna say, as long as you guys are okay.
That's why I'm gonna go over the little changes now.
If you're
We're
okay,
gonna
allowing
assume-
him the discretion with the notes,
Yeah,
and you guys, I would put it into a vote, but with that, giving him the discretion with the notes, make that beautiful letter and then.
okay,
We'll
cool.
ship
It's
it.
gonna be mostly this. I'm just gonna add this extra little stuff. So I'm gonna add the GDP for the town. I'm gonna, no, there's not, but I'm gonna cut down some of the repetition too, like Steve said. So I'm gonna add GDP for the town. Gonna put local intel at the end, gonna just add the link and tell them to go visit if they wanna find out more for themselves. Reduce the mention of multicultural, et cetera, all throughout the thing. I'll just mention it once or twice instead of, multiple times. I'll include a little bit of information on the national corporations. I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper on the lowest business tax rate if I can. I'm gonna see if I can find more of what that entails. I'm gonna include a little bit on the total size of Miami Lakes, square footage, the population. I'm gonna mention, like Romy said, maybe one line or something, that there's many retails established already here. We have a lot of retailers already, and already 2 major grocers here that see success. I won't go into too much of the negative just yet, but I'll mention that. And then the rankings of the current grocers I have listed here. If I can find it, I'll see if I can, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to be honest. But if I can, I'll see if I can maybe find something on foot traffic or related, and then I'll plug it in where it kind of makes sense. But we're good on that.
Do you want a motion to approve it with the edit?
So moved.
Second.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Cool. Okay.
I'll double check on the actual date though, but I believe it is Friday.
Okay, cool. Cool. I mean, if it is, that's fine. I can do this stuff the next one. Will be fine. All right, cool. So that's good there. So next is business networking, social event, date and location. This is the actual exciting part. So picking the next one. We haven't really discussed it much with the chamber. We talked about it. We had one of our members that's a barbershop that wanted to do it, but I don't think that works necessarily with us at the EDC to partner with. That would be a chamber separate thing because we want to give back to the restaurants and all that and promote people, going to their town and going to restaurants in the town. So in that line, does anybody have any kind of suggestions, any ideas? I know we had a possibility of La Diosa and they're interested because they're brand new and we just did the ribbon cutting, but we did just do the ribbon cutting. So that's why I'm wondering if anybody has any sort of new ideas, anything fresh. Maybe Carlos, if you have anything cool going on in one of your places, maybe or something else. You're familiar with the, restaurant community around here. Maybe there's somebody else that could be interested that we haven't really thought of. We've done a lot of the staples, like Rufino and, a lot of the Miami Lakes residents, we just did Pizza Scene now, their ribbon cutting and all that, another staple. So, you can throw that out there, I guess. My suggestion is Diosa, but.
I would think, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm Sonia, the new place that, they opened, I think they gonna need help. Maybe we should support.
Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say.
Amazonia
either
ribbon
Diosa or
cutting is one?
Amazonia is-
Yeah, we're doing the ribbon cutting pretty soon. We talked to him last week, but we went with the mayor right after pizzas, or yesterday, right after pizzas, and we crossed the street. We're gonna do it pretty soon. I know this weekend he's just starting to open up for lunch. So
Okay.
like they're gonna be fully open this weekend
Okay,
officially. So probably pretty soon. I think we're in the ribbon cutting
Further
after.
up and running.
right.
I visit them like, I think Friday, Saturday, and they just started, I think they already have all the people and everything, so I think they will need that
Yeah.
advertising and all of those things.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna start with ribbon cutting for them for sure. We already talked about it a little bit and 100% we're gonna do that.
And the event that we're talking about would be for what date?
I'm thinking already in April, 'cause it's been a while. The last one was January. So yeah, I would assume the 3rd or 4th week of April, potentially.
That'd be smart before it
So-
gets out and.
And also it allows me to put it in the newsletter.
Yay, so.
Yeah, which does.
So my question is,
performed well.
if you, like, if we don't wanna do the OSA because we just did the ribbon cutting, do we wanna do Amazonia if we're about to do the ribbon?
No, that's why, they'd be in kind of the same boat.
Okay,
That's why, that one would have to be
is
ribbon cutting
it
first. and
possible
then-
to, maybe depending on how soon we're gonna do the event, to just do the ribbon cutting and the event on the same day?
That would be good.
That would be.
We did talk to him
I
about
feel
that.
like we get a
'cause
bigger
Yeah,
turnout.
we talked to him about it a little bit. He said he doesn't open his doors during the week like that until 6. So we did mention that we could do the ribbon cutting at 5:30 and then lead that into an event. We did mention that day. So that's something that we could possibly do.
I think that would make sense.
Okay, cool.
And then we can do the next one at La Diosa. The one after that.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna put Diosa and Amazonia both here and then we'll reach out to both. And then if Amazonia, can do it for whatever reason, then we'll just default to Diosa and then, and then it doesn't matter. The ribbon cutting at that point would have already been a month and a half or something away because it'll be later in April.
Do we wanna pick a date for that event?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me look at the calendar real quick. All right, so we're in April. I'm thinking either the week of April 17th or the week of April the 24th, like this, the 3rd or the 4th week of April. Does that make
Jonathan,
sense?
we usually do Wednesdays or Tuesdays?
I wanna say it's
Wednesdays, I think, right?
Yeah.
Last one was January 25th. That was the last one day.
January 25th, you said?
Yeah.
So that was, okay. Pretty much.
April 26th, you said?
25th, 26th.
26th is that Wednesday.
Yeah, so the Wednesdays are the 19th or the 26th.
I think it's the same thing.
Mhm.
Push it out.
Yeah, I think the 26th then?
I think the 26th.
Yeah, just do it.
And we can
more
put it
time
in
too.
the-
And that way, if we have to bounce back a little bit, we have time to like, shift the DLSR or something if we have to. Cool, cool. Yeah, I'll try to talk to the Amazonia guy. I'm pretty sure you might be going this weekend on Saturday, so. Very cool, very cool.
Do we want to put that into a motion or? Do you think we're? Well,
What is that, how that would,
I don't know.
would we have to?
I like
Ready
putting
money
it into
or
the motion, but. Oh, are we gonna?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so I think the last time that we discussed, we had talked
Right.
about allocating, I think
I
500,
think it was 500,
right?
yeah.
500, towards each quarterly event that we have. So I'll make a motion to allocate $500 for our spring economic development committee networker on April 26th.
Cool, all in favor?
Um,
Awesome. Great, this is the 25th, right?
26th.
26th,
It's the last Wednesday.
26th, and 5:30, right, if we normally do it?
Yeah.
Cool. 5:30. Potentially 6 if we do that ribbon cutting, we'll see.
Right.
I'll let you know on 100%. But that also kind of depends on the mayor's availability and all that too, to do the ribbon cutting. Alrighty, cool. So now we can move on. So the next thing is the update on the subcommittee meeting on 124 of the informational webinars. This is the one I wasn't able to make it to. But I'm also part of this subcommittee. I know you guys did meet, I think, Romy, you said it was just you and
It
someone,
was
right?
just me.
It was just you and-
It was just me and George.
George, yeah.
So yes, we met. I think the only, like actionable piece that came out from there was Jonathan, you were supposed to email Raphael Shook. Did you email him?
I got back, I didn't receive an email.
I'm not surprised because we talked about that it's tax season and it's probably not on his radar right now.
Right.
So that means that we would then need to shuffle the order of the speakers. Who took minutes that day? It wasn't me. Not tight.
That was 4 minutes already.
I think I have it.
So is the first one already scheduled to happen regardless? or
The
no?
first one was supposed to happen in
Yeah,
January.
I know.
So it is now almost April.
Okay.
This is like the project that never
Yeah.
saw.
The last time we discussed this, or I'm not sure, this might have been at a chamber meeting, I'm not 100% getting mixed up, but was it about including these in with networking socials? Was that you that we talked about that? or no?
idea.
A little bit.
It was an idea that was thrown around if we wanted to do, two, and that's actually something that George and I talked during that committee meeting. If we have 4 scheduled, so if we were to have 2 webinars and 2 live broadcast events
Okay,
to give people a mix of if you want to come in person or if you want to stay digital.
okay.
So we had talked about, doing half and half. Beyond that, I really can't remember which ones. We even got specific. We were saying, you know, these 2 should be in person, these 2 should be, you know, purely digital.
We actually had March was virtual,
Okay,
June in person / virtual, October the same, and December virtual. It's kind of like.
oh, so March, so we weren't gonna kick it off in January. Okay, so March.
June, October.
We're not that
December.
late.
And we also talked about the idea of talking to the chamber to maybe doing it.
That's right.
In conjunction.
In conjunction with a
monthly
meeting.
Meetings.
Okay.
So to make like one of the speakers, actually like the chamber speaker for that month,
I get it.
and that would be one of the live ones.
It's come in and do it early, then it'll just kind of roll over into it. But that has to be coordinated, obviously.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll talk to them about that. All right, cool. So what are the next steps on that then?
So, we would need to, I mean, pick who would be, you know, who would be up for being the first speaker, because it's not gonna be Raphael Shook. And it's probably not gonna be anybody in the accounting profession for a while,
Oh, because of the whole tax.
because it's taxi. So there, you know, there's not many of them that are willing to do that. So, I think I had clarified a little bit on, point 2, because we had like a whole mess of ideas there. And, I think we finessed it a little bit, George. I don't know if you have that written down.
As far as the topics.
Yeah. And we had also given it a name, and now I forgot the
Yeah,
awesome name.
business 101
There we go,
or business 101, small businesses by EDC.
something like that, okay. So yeah, so we came up with a name for the series. And, so next steps would be, we need to commit to a day, a time, and a speaker so that we can start blasting it out. Ideally, we would want to blast it out with the newsletter, right? We have to turn in the newsletter by April 7th. So we need
So
to,
we've got to figure it out today.
right, we need to move on that ASAP.
I think a newsletter would be good also with an email blast to the chamber membership and whatever email, well, you have it through the newsletters, it goes out to
Yeah,
the residents of the business, but I think specifically to the chamber. And I could send it to my clients as well too. Anybody here with banking client emails and stuff like that. Bank United did a small business boot camp this past Saturday, half a day, in conjunction with the Dade County Mayor's Office. It was held in our corporate campus. We had about 70 business people there, basically minority business people. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that 99% of the attendees were women business owners that were really involved with their businesses, and it had to do with how to do business with the county. It also had to do with the different resources that are available to the mayor's office, as well as through other sources to help small businesses run their business, get the resources for their business, the budgeting, the marketing, feedback, how to do grant writing. There's a lot of different,
yeah, a lot of small things.
there's a lot of different entities under the Dade County or the state of Florida that literally will allow small businesses to access grants. These are not loans, these are free money. They also have one for special loan terms, first come, first serve. So I mentioned this in the past. I could really redouble efforts and get very serious and specific. bring something to the committee with names and everything, if you guys are interested in hosting a webinar or something like that.
So using those people already,
Using those
Yeah.
people that I'm familiar with, that we're familiar with, it's not a very complicated type webinar where it's gonna make you sleep. It's a very
Yeah.
on point type scenario, and it's. I was so ignorant of the good resources that we have available to us in the city. I mean, I was impressed. And then we came in as a bang, telling them what we did and, you know, what we can do for them as a small business. We got smaller type
Mhm.
finance deals and stuff like that. So this could be something you want to throw out in your list. You guys are open to that. Did I send it send it to you and then you can move it around? And
Yeah.
maybe we can tighten it up and find a date. I mean, from my end, there's no deadline date.
Yeah. do they need any kind of monetary incentive or anything like that? to do
No,
it,
to
or-
my knowledge, no. I mean, this was not I wasn't aware of any monetary incentive. This was something that we coordinated with our community relations manager and the mayor's office. And there were about 4 bank executives, including myself there. And you guys haven't seen it, we've completely redone the corporate campus. Andrea, you're familiar with there, right? Have you seen inside of the annex building 3 what we did? So we've set up like an open workstation. And there's one part of the room that's like a stadium seating that goes up, very comfortable with the big, smart screen, stuff like that. And it's a good, clean, professional space to host something,
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out.
no, I mean, that sounds
Guys,
awesome.
Yeah, I can volunteer space if we need to do something with more bricks and mortar to have people in.
Yeah.
We could do it with enough notice. I mean, notice is 2-3 months worth of notice.
Yeah, I
To
get
put
you.
it together. I'm sure my people would be open to it. But it's there.
All the subjects that you have mentioned, I believe they're more attractive
Yeah.
for the people to understand, because other these things, you can hire an accountant, you cannot do those things, and it's for people that are kind of beginning the process. And in order to develop more of the businesses, you need more of the resources and the topics that he had mentioned. So I will be more entitled to go to an event like that, right, to this one.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I mean, there are, and just without making this too long, very impressive resources there that will sit with somebody like you and look at your business free of charge and maybe come up with marketing or budgeting or, cash flow and that type of scenario to give you pointers. They do it they do it with the, this is similar to Propera, but this is directly from the mayor's office. And then FIU has their, I think, small business development.
Yeah.
Thing where it's their incubator and they have a lot of people that have been very successful where they actually will sit down with a business owner.
I like the idea
Yeah.
of doing it that way just because, and this is not to discount.
No,
what we
not
have
at
here,
all.
Because
Not at all.
I'm one of them, and so are you.
No, but this is
I think it would be better just because
it's added.
the experience, like the,
Yeah.
that's what they do. You know,
Yeah. We could do it in a webinar. We could get them in a webinar. We could do a webinar scenario where it's a panel. It's a panel, maybe one guy from Dade County, one person from Prospera, one from FIU. I've seen that format set up.
Mhm.
Prospera had it when they did an event last year in Miracle Mile. They had it set up as a panel type thing. Or we could actually do a live event. Depends,
Didn't we do something several years ago? Was it Beacon Council or was it in the town chambers? And I think the SBA came and a couple of other agencies.
Another
It
thing.
was more how to grants were available, how to start businesses.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. I think it's just giving them enough lead time, realistically lead time. Where we understand that we have stuff here available. If
Yeah.
you want to do it live, we have the town hall chamber. So it can fit what, 100 people? You know, stuff like that, or 120. Listen, if you get 70, 80 people there with 3 panelists,
So
That's
Steve, what you're talking about would be a one-time thing, or it
It
would
could be
still
a-
be broken
well,
down into
it
3
could
or
be,
4?
it could be a one-time thing to get the information out.
Mhm.
As far as this is the places you go to. Here are the emails, here's a contact person, here's a website. And then let the business owners follow up on their own. Or we could do a combination of, I don't know, maybe another topic with
The
another.
boot camp that you did on a Saturday was how many hours?
It was we were there from 8:30. For breakfast, we served breakfast. We actually started sharp at about 9:10 and was over by 11:30. And then half an hour milling
Not bad.
around and so it's but again, that time period was not taken up by just one person.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we had 3 people presenting. We had the bank presenting. We had the gentleman from the Dade County Mayor's Office. Then we had another person that is involved with the grants. I was surprised how much interest there was to do proper grant writing and to access these grants and
Definitely.
because the money is free.
No,
Right.
exactly,
I was
yeah,
gonna
that's,
say-
that's why.
How could I get interested in grant?
It's free money, it's free money,
Yeah.
and they're open to, they do micro grants from a little few $100s to thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of dollars, and so I was impressed as a taxpayer that there was this
That resource. there.
resources, safety net or net available. A lot of people don't realize it. A lot of small businesses,
No, not at
they
all.
think they're in by themselves, they're facing a unique challenge, and they're not. It's just getting to the right entity that's gonna say, no, listen, we've seen this before, maybe we suggest this.
Cool.
So
I
that's
mean,
just my take on it.
me personally, I'd rather have one really super polished event.
I
than
agree.
4 that are a little bit like wishy-washy and like us trying to figure it out, you know? And it's not to discredit at all what you guys
No,
are.
and then you can
You guys
remarket it tremendously.
Yeah, exactly,
you
yeah.
know? And if you gotta even come up with a couple $100 for placed ads or whatever, you guys.
No, exactly, yeah.
I'm sure at this table, there's enough companies here that could, somebody
Push it.
can write a check for 250, you know, or
Mhm.
whatever. it
Yeah, it's
is,
easy.
you know? So that's my 2 cents on it.
So can we just rinse and repeat the small business boot camp from Bank United?
We could do it. We could do it. I can get, what I'll do is I'll get all the contact information. And I can submit that through Jonathan,
Mhm.
and then you guys decide, just for protocol, sunshine law,
Yeah.
whatever. You guys can decide who you want to assign it to make contact and make the phone call, because I think with the FIU, the Dade County's office and Prospera, you have 3, or even the 4th one, which I forget the name. You have 4 solid resource
Yeah.
areas that it can produce the bigger bang for the buck from us as a committee.
Yeah,
This
I agree.
is, you know, this is what we are pushing out as far as content. It's relevant, no fluff.
Yeah,
It's not doing it just to do it. It's there.
yeah, it's a legitimate resource. That's helpful. Yeah, no, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
SBA loans. Also.
Target audience is
Yeah.
the student, start
Well, no, so,
Or just
so
people that are on business on their own.
it could be a
Business owners.
So it's a small business person, you know, what's the definition of a small business person? Could be somebody in business for 2 years. A year. Could be somebody in business 4 or 5 years that have reached a point where they need more professional feedback, professional help. It's a lot cheaper than going to a CPA to pay them $150 an hour to do some consulting for you. This is on the taxpayers, the county's budget.
The SEDC, is that the one?
The one at FIU
Yeah.
is involved with that, but the,
Because these people will do business.
yeah, and when Prospera,
Yeah.
when Prospera did their presentation, it was at the old Miracle Mile Theater, the cinema. They brought out companies that they worked with. A few companies in Doral, you know, Hispanic minority businesses that it told you the whole story, how they went for them and they went from a vision to what they did and they prepare the business to get to the point where bankers can come in and maybe take a look at them after a couple of years and say, at least you've done the groundwork.
Cool.
You have your systems in place and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Will be a possibility also to tie that to what the opportunities and businesses there is in Miami Lakes. Meaning that if all the people that want to get grants, want to get SBA loans, they want to, you know, get loans at the bank and stuff like that. Also offer them what Miami Lakes is offering at the same seminar.
Yeah.
So that way we can target in the 100 or 80 or 70 people that come that they wanted and tell them what are the benefits of expending that or those grants in Miami Lakes. So we incentivize them to
I guess, yeah.
do something.
Yeah, the grant piece is there for each business.
Right.
Again, from what I understood, it was super competitive. Right? There's some people that have applied for grants 3-4 times. And they think it's great, but they don't get the grant. So each time you get into that request or going for the grant, you get better at the grant writing.
Right.
But there are a lot of people there, the smaller companies, all they're doing is grants. And they're getting grants and we're talking companies now, maybe revenues $1 million, under $1 million, a little bit over $1 million. These are just a true small business. You know, this is not for somebody that's been around for 10 years making serious money.
Yeah.
That's banking with Jose.
No, but I like that idea a lot. And just to further go on what Carlos said too, and this is from the county you're saying, right? Cool. So yeah, just to go off what Carlos was saying too, maybe as an extra panelist or something, we can include somebody from the town just to kind of say just like continue along with like what resources the county offers, maybe touch on what the town
We
offers.
could put everything together. We could put everything together, but this is something I think
I like that idea a
that
lot.
needs the calmness to properly put the agenda together instead of rushing it and
No, yeah, that's why I don't want
under
to,
pressure
Yeah,
and let's
exactly.
hurry up and, you know, we gotta make an end of January deadline or whatever.
yeah, nothing like that.
You know, something that can be put together tight.
Cool. All right.
My 2 cents in that.
I personally agree. Yeah, I think that sounds, at least from the perspective of the chamber, like it's a lot better when we put all our efforts into doing the one big business expo that everybody kind of knows about and goes and it looks good. And I kind of like that idea for the EDC too, to have its own business expo where it's kind of like, you know, the EDC's yearly business boot camp sort of thing.
Boot camp.
Yeah, I
Small
like that a
business
lot.
boot camp.
I like that a lot.
Business boot camp.
And it kind of shows the value that we have too.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
More solidified.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So we want to shoot for a target date, like, is this something that we want to do for summer, for beginning of fall?
I think the summer would make sense, no? Spring is what? Spring break is over.
Spring is over,
Yeah.
practically, yeah. I don't know about you guys today, but when I walked out my house. today,
June, maybe.
How much in advance do we need to reach out to the
You
people?
know, honestly, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I know that my community people started telling me about this in January,
Okay.
right? So I would think 2 months, and they got the list of names also from the town,
Okay.
and they put that word out
I mean, think about it, if we start now, that would be a June event,
there.
right?
Yeah.
So, because we have all of April and we have all of May,
Yeah.
so that would be a June event. School gets out when?
Beginning of December.
Yeah, and you know, you could actually put together something with a really big bang.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
A really good bang that's noticeable.
Yeah. To really make an impact, like with the, like I said, like with the expo kind of.
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
I think that'd be awesome. Cool, so we want to tentatively look at June,
Middle of June, maybe?
middle of June. I kind of want to pick July just because of how things work here.
Yeah.
I mean, what-
It's the whole, we gotta. and stuff.
I feel like July is, people are more likely to be out of town
Oh, really?
in July.
Okay.
So I mean, I
So
would
June.
think, I don't know, people with children, correct me if I'm wrong, I would think that if we can almost align it with, you know, a few days before school closes or a few days after school closes. Cause I don't think people are that
I think
likely
they're
to
gonna-
bust out, you know, out of town that
School
week.
ends June 7th.
Mhm. And that's a what day of the week?
Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday?
Let's try for the middle of June. No? People are on vacation.
Right, so if we did that same week of June 7th, like the,
Like Monday.
yeah,
I wouldn't push it for like.
Yeah, we'll tell you that Monday or Tuesday.
months, yeah.
And then you gotta decide whether it's gonna be a webinar or it's gonna be an actual brick and mortar.
I think a brick and mortar thing
Brick and
with
mortar.
a film feature, kind of like what we do in the town hall. It would be like
People
that.
at town hall.
Yeah, that can make it easy. You know?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
seating is there.
And it already has everything all set up. with the
Audio,
cameras.
visual,
And I think that'd be a good
everything.
idea, because it's, I mean, it's there for the benefit of business owners, you know, that way they can, you know, you can go and look at it if you can make it, or if you can't make it that day, you can find it the day after or something.
Yeah,
on
we
the live
need to
stream.
market the heck out of it.
Yeah, no,
significantly.
I think the idea is awesome. I think it's a killer idea. And it basically is what we wanted to do with all these.
Right,
Just
just
into
in one
one
event.
and
yeah.
super professional, because it's led by
So,
analysts,
do
people
we-
that have been doing this for years.
so if this is like a 2-hour event or something, do we want to do it during the workday? Or do we want to do it after, like a Saturday or like after the workday?
Good question, because it has to do now with the presenter's schedule,
Uh-huh.
right?
All right, so if we make it during the workday, they have to leave their office.
Yeah, but they do that during the day. These people do this during the day.
All I know is we got 70 people on Saturday,
Right,
and they showed up on Saturday.
right.
So we partnered with the bag, and we tell you, the mayor, the Dade County mayor, I mean, I got an education, I didn't realize how much she is super, and I'm being apolitical here, I'm not.
Oh, Cobham?
Yeah, she's very into making sure that the dollars go to the people. In other words, the dollars in whatever budget get properly spent.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like conserve everything under the carpet and hold on to it. No, he wants that stuff out. So, I'll get the information to this gentleman here, Jonathan, right?
Yes.
Cool.
And then you guys can run with it, or if you need my help, I'd be more than happy to participate, you know?
So what do we need then for the next meeting? Because if we want this by June, next meeting is already like, we're
2
almost
months
there.
before.
Yeah.
Right,
So what do we need for the next meeting? Just to have, perhaps so I can put it in the new business, we can go over it, and hopefully we have it all set up. So what is it? We need who the panelists are, or they figure that out?
No, we need to
confirm the
confirm
panelists?
people.
Yeah.
Dates and the venue.
We get dates.
The other thing is real quick, and I'm gonna zip it after this.
Yeah.
I also found out at FPL, believe it or not, has their own program for small businesses.
Like that.
They have grants, they also have resources and stuff where a small business person can go to them to get help. I think they also have something to do with, I think we talked about this last year, with electricity or a certain cap or a discount or something like that. I'm not sure. But they also, I mean, you could even get involved, FPL, Dade County and Prospera. The three top-notch, you know, high-profile entities right there. Just saying, you know.
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Who goes through the process of reaching out and doing all that? That's what I mean, is like, how do we go through the steps?
So what I can, I'll get the contact information, the formal contact.
And that's what you're gonna say, the,
Which I'm gonna say
Okay,
to
cool.
him.
I don't think it's a problem. You guys reach out.
I have a contact at the SBDC, so that one I can reach out to.
The only thing is. Right now, it sounds like it's a new event, and that would have to go to council.
For what?
But any event. Any event.
That has never been
that's
done
on-
before.
Right, a new event. Yeah, kind of.
So it needs what, description and
Description, you
what,
know, the
who,
scope
what,
of it,
when, where, type thing?
Exactly.
Just to use there, or just for overall?
For any town event.
Really?
EDC town,
really, okay.
yeah, but we are
Even if
presenting,
we don't do it in the town hall, same thing?
I don't know. I've
If we were to
never, I've
hold it
never
in
gotten,
the Bank United Center or whatever, you know? If we were to do it in there, but it's an EDC event, would it still have to be to the town?
I would imagine, I can get clarity, I just wanna say, we already are presenting in April. One memo or. Or just an update,
Yeah,
just an update,
But can we include this in that
Yes.
memo then? Yeah,
I would say get ready to have that who, what, where, when.
okay.
Alright,
Because
so
it
let's
is a new
do
event.
this then, let me get you the information
Right,
and.
we can do everything,
Right,
let's get everything together, so, you know, God let's, hope they say, yeah, go ahead with the.
yeah,
event.
and I think we can even call the people and say, look, we were exposed to you recently, I could. You guys did a great job recently.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm on the committee here. Love to see if you guys can replicate that for the town of Miami Lakes. What works for you?
Yeah,
Saturday works for you, after hours works for you, during the day works for you. Hour and a half, 2 hours maximum, have a panel,
yeah,
3 people.
yeah. If you could do that, that'd be awesome, just to get the ball rolling.
I'll reach out to.
Yeah,
So
I'd
Steve,
appreciate
you're
that.
reaching out to whom?
I'm gonna reach out to the Dade County and the Prospera people.
Okay,
Cool.
The 3 people that I was exposed to, I'm gonna reach out. I forget the third name. It's a company that gives loans and grants and low interest loans and stuff, but I'll provide the information and I'll reach out to them.
Cool, thank
And
you.
Jonathan, I'll copy you
Right.
on any emails I send out. I also gotta copy my people too, because.
So we'll make,
and
a-
Jessica, you're reaching out to SBDC?
Yeah,
we'll make another memo, the who, what, where, when, why.
Okay,
Then
so we're doing this memo presentation before our next meeting. Correct?
yes,
So we either need to do a subcommittee meeting or figure it out right now,
figure what out.
the who, what, when.
I mean,
We figured out the who, we figured out the what. The where we're kind of
So,
there,
look,
so the when is, I guess, the only thing.
I'm gonna get today's what? Today's Tuesday?
You don't,
Right, it sounds like.
That's true.
you don't necessarily have to have the, you don't have to have the when, I think. It's
Summer.
second.
Who's on first?
Yeah,
Summer 2023.
I would just.
can do it like that, cool.
You want
Intense,
Yeah, you
challenge
you
with
want
it.
to be as specific as possible.
Yeah.
So if we say June, I'm sure that would be acceptable.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah, cool.
if we say that, I think that would be.
So I don't know how intense the town is with it. We, this time, this date, this exact, like, I don't know how insane they are.
This is the first time we've made it.
Cool, so I'll say early June.
So what I'll do is I'll get the information together in a couple days,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And then, once you get it, maybe we can do a 3-way call with them,
With,
with the people,
yeah, so,
just to gauge their,
yeah, because I
their
guess
timeline.
in the meantime, aside from council approval, because if we start planning the second the council meeting is over. Then there's not gonna be enough time, but that is when they would approve the event, so I think between now and then. As
Yeah,
much
we-
planning as possible.
We would get the information to you to say, listen. These are the 3 entities or 4 entities we've contacted.
Yep.
These are the contact people. This is what they do. They're amenable first week in June.
Hmm.
They mentioned their preference maybe on a Saturday or a work day or whatever.
and the goal is.
And the goal is to provide this type of information to the small business community in Miami Lakes. Right? And then we just leverage it by getting it on, you know, LinkedIn, filming it or Facebook it or YouTube or whatever. And we take it from there. Or they could come back and say, you know, something, we're busy, we're jammed up, we're already booked, we're committed. You know, I don't think that's gonna happen. We get some good people there.
Cool,
Okay,
I
great.
like that. So you're gonna reach out to those people? Jessica, were you gonna reach out to the FIU people you said? Cool.
Okay, so just your
Let me just
SBDC and
write
FIU?
myself.
That is the thing.
That is
Oh,
FIU.
okay, never mind.
Who are you reaching out to again, Bjorn? I just wanna write it down for the memo.
You know, I should have it here, it's
You can just say
gonna-
the 2, it's fine. I just wanted for the
It's Dade
memo.
County,
Yeah, just so there's some big. names that are gonna be-
Prospera, exactly how it's spelled. And I'm just gonna reach out to FPL for the hell of it, as a backup,
Cool.
all right?
Okay.
So it's.
So
Dade
we can mention to the
County,
town potential
Prospera,
panelists and things like that, so give them some
FPL.
data.
Cool.
Cool.
Speaking of memos,
What?
that's the other thing.
Yeah, I guess, I forgot there's one last thing. All right, cool. So we'll close it on that then. We're good on the subcommittee meeting. Everyone cool with that?
Yes.
What we're gonna do with it? Cool.
I'm gonna make a note here in the minutes that we're scrapping.
Yes,
the
yes,
webinars.
yeah. And we're changing it to
Right.
one big event featuring a webinar.
And I would, I know we're all already kind of in agreement, but I would probably just. Yeah, let's put it to a vote.
I would like to make a motion to scrap our quarterly small business webinars and instead change it to one epic event.
All in favor?
I,
Question, Jonathan, can I second things as a chair or no?
You should
I
not.
don't know.
You
I
should
feel like
have
I'm always-
Okay, I was just
You
curious. I was like,
could've
damn,
I'm always, I was just
curious.
I'll ask.
Whatever, doesn't matter. I was just curious. Yeah, no, I know you did. I was just curious if in the future, whatever. All right, cool. So now we can move on to the memo. I mean, we already know we're gonna talk about this in the memo, the panel that's upcoming. Give me a brief little thing, Jonathan, about what the memo has to entail, how the room.
According to council. So, you know, now that we have a schedule for all the committees to go, I just want to make sure we're on top of it. It's really just, you know, what we've been up to, you know, events, how they've gone. I know we don't have as many events because we're on event planning committee. But, you know, updating on the business events or the networking socials, excuse me. And, you know, all the ribbon cuttings, which we have all that
Yeah,
information.
I was just gonna kind of keep it brief and talk about, like what you were saying, that, you know, we've had, it's only supposed to be for this year, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so
I mean, it's gonna be the first report of the year for us, so it's good to
Okay,
recap.
fine. I got it. So then we're gonna go over a little bit of the networking socials. I was gonna, maybe we can bring in some numbers, I guess, of like how many people have been coming out, people from out of the town and stuff like that. And then go a little bit more into the ribbon cuttings and the success of that, and kind of like what I talked about here, that we've seen more people from the business community and the EDC, the chamber, all that kind of see it grow. That's the thing. I was just gonna talk about the positive about that, and then now I guess add this potential event that we could do.
Is there
If anybody has any additions, yeah.
Yeah. You guys have any?
Additions,
thing
comments,
that you think-
Stuff that we would relay to the town council from the EDC. So if there's anything that you guys have any kind of, something that's been burning at your mind to to tell the council straight from the mouth of the EDC chair. This is the chance.
Yeah,
I am your puppet.
You guys would need to agree on what, except you can't speak on behalf of you guys, unless you put that note or that note to a vote.
Got it.
So do you guys have anything?
So at this point, what are we covering at this point?
This panel,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this memo, what are we
in
covering?
this memo, it's gonna
So far?
be this upcoming panel event. It's gonna be the ribbon cuttings and, you know, just the success of ribbon cuttings and how they've grown, and the business networking socials. And how that's continued to bring people from out of the town, and how we're continuing to do that and keep that going. And then the main thing, I guess, now is gonna be that we're gonna try to push for a big event for the EDC. That'll probably cover most of it, honestly.
And the newsletter.
Oh, I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
we can also throw in the newsletter too.
Then I have a question, the
Yeah.
newsletter and the other website is, we manage it?
I believe so. I don't know I've never seen the back end.
Yeah, I don't know who.
But
Like,
it's, the newsletter, yes.
Yes.
The
And the website is supposed to be the EDC, like, we're supposed to be able to ones to suggest edits and stuff, right, or no?
Yeah, that one's weird. I don't.
You're not under.
Since Claire's on the contract, I'm. I have to
Get clarity
assume
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we can, that'd be cool, if we can just, you know, mess with that website entirely, and if we can maybe even get our hands in there, that'd be cool. From the website
One
perspective.
more thing, that is reaching out to the new firms with our letters and our, you know, email.
That would be a nice.
Yeah.
Oh, true, yeah, the groceries.
Like the PTR list.
No, he's talking about,
Oh,
the-
I understand.
every
Yes,
time,
yes, yes,
every
yes,
time
yes.
there's a new business in town.
It's a big thing for us to do that.
Oh, yeah,
You're
but-
saying that to include that into the report?
The grocers?
That we've been reaching out to those people, and
That we
I
have
also,
been, yeah.
and also mention the organic.
The
groceries.
organic-
Oh, there, yeah.
Cool. You guys are the best.
You guys. We want to, I guess, put it to a
Awesome.
vote now. I don't know, it's weird.
I will. Okay, I know what we can do. Okay. I'm gonna go over kind of like what we did with the letter, right? I'm gonna go over the notes I just took down for what's gonna be included in the memo, and then we can agree on that. And then I can word it in my discretion.
Sure.
But it'll include all this. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. Alrighty, so this is the kind of stuff I've written down right now for the memo. So we've got the ribbon cuttings, we've got the business networking socials. I have here the panel that's potentially in early June for the business community, potentially in the town hall, potentially including panelists such as the FIU, SBDC, Prospera, FPL, and Miami-Dade County. We also potentially, yeah, well, that's potentially. We also have the letter to the organic grocers that we have prepped to be sent out, and then we can show them there, blah, blah, blah. We have our monthly newsletter that we've been sending out and following up with, and we've been seeing, you know, relative growth on that. Quarterly. And that we've been seeing some growth in that, but we could always do better. We want to push it more.
The BTR list.
And then the last I have here is the BTR list that we've been reaching out. And this has been leading on to more ribbon cuttings and more business networking socials in those businesses. I kind of tie it around.
And
What am I missing?
what are we missing, folks? Local intel,
Local
we
intel.
manage and produce the information developed from local intel.
Local intel,
And that's
pushing.
hardcover stuff.
And you can, I guess you can give a brief description of
of what it is.
That's the largest number on our budget.
So, yeah, and we spent a lot of money on that for it not to be used. So wait, so John, you're saying for the update on local intel, what local, to update them on what local intel currently is, or what we want?
We're monitoring what's
Okay.
happening.
Yeah, and I'll touch up on that too, Romy. I feel like that's just.
What it is how we are tying that into the letter perhaps.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know how to push it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna, yeah, we'll talk about kind of what we talked about today. That ties into the newsletter that we want to push it and really give people more of a business kind of business knowledge hub that we can have here in the town, and that kind of leads back to as well doing the event. All this is just to kind of like, push business knowledge on the town. That's something cool we can mention at the event too, that we have local intel. That'll be in the future. That's right, we just gotta push it. That's it. I even forgot about it. So it's just something we just gotta push and people will remember. All right, cool. So that's it for the memo. So we're good on new business. Oh wait, we have to do the vote, right? For what I just spoke of. All right, cool. All right, cool. So that's what I spoke on.
I
Right.
want to put that.
Yeah.
Somebody do a motion.
I motion that everything you just mentioned get
Yeah,
reported to council. the next meeting. It's up to you, Chris.
I second the motion.
Wrong.
Oh, wrong.
All right, cool. So that's it for, yeah, all in favor. I did it, said it. All
Aye.
right, so we're good there.
Maybe the meeting's not over yet.
And we've got one last thing. We're good. We're almost free. We're almost free. We just have a lot of stuff.
There is another meeting at 7. So.
Oh my God.
The meeting is over, we just don't know.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now just the announcements, April 1st is the 2023 Health and Wellness Fair. If you guys can make it, that'd be cool.
We have flyers. It's gonna be really fun. We have like 50 organizations coming out, a bunch of information sessions.
What time is it?
10 a.m. at Veterans Park. On Saturday.
Yep, that's a cool little event. I know last year's was really cool too.
Yeah, can we do it? So, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Thank you for that. April 8th is, I don't know, like, oh, the
Youth activity.
the Youth Activities Task Force, your old recruiting. Youth Activities Task Force Spring Fling, you were part of there, yeah, that committee. Spring Fling Easter Egg Hunt is on April 8th, so that's fun. You got any kiddos? April 20th is the Mount Sinai Health Forum, the GERD, surgical treatment and when it is right for me, so that's something that could be interesting for you guys. And then April 22nd is the NIC Community Bike Ride, birthday team. The bike rides are always fun.
That's the last.
That's a morning one.
That's the last bike, yes. I'm from Royal Oak. That's the last bike ride. I've seen with this, so.
Yeah, and those always do pretty well and they're pretty fun.
All you bikers.
If anybody can make them.
Motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
fees, always with the school.
You're ready.
All right, we're still waiting on the.
You can just call his name when he comes in. Remember that it's a public meeting, so you guys don't have to call again.
Thank you.
Before we start, this refreshment.
Let me, because I had already started.
All right, let him know we're ready to start, or he'll come in when he comes in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call, all right, wait a minute. I need someone to take the minutes.
What's going on with that? Don't we not have a secretary? Is that what's going on?
Yes, we do. However, last time he was out for a good reason. And because of that good reason, he is here, but cannot do the minutes.
I'm sorry. Can we? I'm just asking.
I can do the,
But what if you have to leave? Then what is the?
no, I just didn't, no, I can stay, I just didn't wanna stay for like an extra half hour because they decided to leave late like they did last time.
Yeah, we should.
So that's why I came in, I know it looks kind of rude, but hey, we all wanna eat at a decent time and get home at a decent time, you know?
All right, let's call the meeting to order. And show that George will be taking the minutes for the secretary.
Hopefully with
The time is 7:08 p.m.
Okay, let me go ahead and do the roll call. Nancy Rogers,
Here,
Brandon Diaz,
he's out of town.
oh, he's excused.
It's up to you guys.
No, it has to come as next.
Okay. Omar Gonzalez. Here. Tony Torres.
Here.
Luis Lopez. He always shows up late, but. Pending. Or-
You would just, if you want, you could do absent and just, if
Change
he
it
walks
later.
in, just let the record show it.
Okay, George Pena here, Darwin. Here. Fire representative, no.
Did we,
And Officer Amador. He's here, okay.
on the fire rep, Kyle, did we receive any paperwork this time that we usually get from them when they don't show up?
No.
So we didn't get anything at all, no communication at all. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Do we kick them off if they miss you two more times?
Maybe not if there's a fire at your house, God forbid, you want them to show up.
There was a fire in my neighborhood today,
Oh,
in a house in my neighborhood. Yeah. Okay,
okay, we took
Good
rolls.
all right, we have one. Order of business, deferrals, additions, deletions.
I'd like to add something or make a motion to add something.
Yeah, go ahead, George.
I mean, I guess to add it to this, I don't think I speak about it now.
No, you just added.
Okay.
Motion to add.
Motion to
No.
add,
Second,
an incident I want to discuss.
So that would be under 8.
Okay.
80.
And that'll be 8A, George's motion.
Second by Omar.
Let me see if we have the, yeah, we've got the ceremony on here, okay. All right, we'll go.
Hello.
Hey, good
Good everyone.
We knew you were here. Okay, let the record show that officer on the door has arrived. And we can, if you have any more deferrals, additions, or deletions, officer on the door, do you need anything added? When you get to the report,
If you,
if you want to discuss it. Then-
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I have an agenda? Thank you.
No, ready? Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
You have 2 minutes to approve.
Oh, 2 minutes. I thought you said like
Okay.
2 minutes.
No,
Yeah, that's what I said.
get a
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, you're here.
I'm a slow reader.
We just need to request another minute for all the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said.
George, you good?
Yeah, no,
Your
yeah,
motion.
well, good.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Are you making the motion?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Okay. I'll second.
That was to approve both.
No, one. Where's the other one?
They're both there. One's from December, one's from February.
Okay, one for this one.
Oh,
Okay, so that was the first one, I guess.
okay, so that was the December minutes that we, or do we have to?
No, we have to go, we
We
have
should
to,
revisit them both.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the first motion, let's do that one for the meeting from last time, no? So, okay, the first motion would be for February, last month's minutes, if you guys read them. This is for February.
So we just approved the February minutes.
Correct.
You guys have. You take a vote.
Oh,
You guys need to take a vote.
oh, okay.
Motion,
I didn't know.
The motion was second, so we need to vote.
Motion is to accept February minutes.
And he seconded, so I guess all in favor.
Oh.
Aye. Aye.
I didn't realize that were true.
All right, so now we're gonna go back and approve the December ones.
Mr. with the attendance and I believe the budget update.
Yes.
And they were corrected.
Yes.
So we need a motion and a second. and a vote.
I'll do the motion. Thank you.
My second motion.
This for December. Okay, so we have to vote. For the.
Wait for the budget. Okay, all right, adoption of minutes. On those changes. Okay, special presentations. Police department report.
After everyone again. So. Start off with year to date, we had 2 homicides. Last year, we're at 4 this year because of the unfortunate event. On the west side. It was 4 homicide and 1 suicide. 5 deaths, but. He killed himself, so that's a suicide. Robberies, we had 1, we're up to 2. Auto thefts, we had 15, we're at 20. Commercial burglaries, we were at 0, we're at 2. Residentials, we had 4, we're at 1. And aggravated batteries, we were at 4, and we are at 2. So something's up, something's down.
We have a copy.
For
of
you.
that. Or is it the same thing as we looked at? It sounded to me like it's a different thing. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay. And then again, no report from the fire department. Okay, any comments from the liaison?
I have comments, but they're from your old business.
On item six.
Right, so I have comments, but they're related to your old business. I will give
Okay.
them when you're there.
Okay, all right. Budget update, budget balance, outstanding accounts payable and transfer of funds. The transfer of funds, I didn't get a chance to, I tried was to get into the old meeting, but all that moving of money was happening down at the other end of the table, and I couldn't quite hear it. But it was only a deficit of $75,
Correct. So-
right?
Yeah.
For the money that Brandon needed to pay. for
So
the-
I included a budget report for you guys to look at.
Okay. I know what I tried to look at that today. Very convoluted.
This thing or no?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think we moved $50 from one thing and 25 from another.
So
didn't we?
if you look at your minutes that you just approved, it says motion to table the movement of funds that you guys are at a deficit to do it to March. So now we're in March. So you guys haven't done a transfer of funds yet. The minutes you just approved say pretty much leave this till March. And I can't go based on like what anybody says. I have to go based off of minutes.
And perhaps what might have happened, we discussed it, we couldn't really confirm it all. And that's why we confirmed it till now. So, all right, so what is it officially as of this meeting?
So in the budget report that's in front of you guys are at a deficit under educational materials. You're at a $75 deficit. You were given a budget of $600 for that line item and you spent $675. So as a committee, you need to agree on what funds to move it from to cover that deficit. You have two other line items, banners or the breakfast, the police appreciation.
Those are the only two we could take it from?
Well, those are the only other two line items you have.
And we would have to make a motion and all that
You have to make a motion, a second,
and vote.
if you want to have a discussion. And then you vote on it.
All right, so the banners right now has $200 in it. Okay?
Okay.
Or deficit of $75, right?
Under educational
Under
materials.
educational. I make a motion to move the $75 from the banners to the EdMat.
Okay, wait, hold on. 'cause I gotta-
Yeah, me too. Banners,
Nancy, motion,
$75.
Motion banner,
EdMat.
edit that.
$75?
Yeah.
Nancy motion, $75 from banner.
To educational materials.
Okay.
And the second was, I'm sorry. Omar. George, you ready?
Oh, wait, I'm getting there.
Okay.
One more second, right?
Omar,
Yeah.
second.
Now you have a discussion, if any.
One more second.
Any discussion?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passed. Thank you, everybody.
And then just one other thing on your budget, so if you guys look at these line items. You'll see that under breakfast, police appreciation, this is just so you guys are up to date with what's going on. You were given $4,000 beginning of the year. You'll see that under actuals, you have 1,325. That's how much has been spent so far. That's pretty much the deposit on the breakfast that you agreed on last time. So, we haven't paid the full tab yet. The last of it gets paid closer to the event date, but that's the deposit. So you'll see you have an available budget of $2,675.
For that line item. Right?
Yeah, for that
2675.
specific.
But we were given 4,800. Okay. So actually, with the exception of the breakfast and the EdNet, we've got $2,800 tonight.
Yeah, those
Right?
are
Am I
accounted.
Understanding that, I'm saying we've got the other things that we just talked about, the breakfast and EdNet.
So those are the only two things that have been charged to your account so far.
Right, so right now we've got a balance of $2,800.
Correct.
Okay.
That's in total. So all your line items combined.
All right. And of that 2,800, none of it is sponsored money. So if it's not used by the end of the year, it goes back to the town guys, okay?
But how much
So,
you think the breakfast is gonna cost this year?
They give us a quote last time,
we moved that around and played with it, and we changed it to 75 people instead of 100, so that we could afford to even have the breakfast. But we've got $2,800 balance, but we've got 2 plaques that need to be paid for, which is also somewhere on this agenda, I believe. In that we need to, ask I'll,
So whatever we do, we're
right
gonna,
now, we're talking about the budget, but we're not talking about events yet. We'll get there.
no, I'm just telling you that that's a cost.
Right.
So whatever we do, we can go over 2,000, yeah.
And we have to make sure to spend it so we don't lose it.
That the good news is that with the breakfast coming up and everything else, there's something we can throw out there to do with some kind of town event. We also want to work on these hats.
So the expected total cost that you guys as a committee agreed on, what you guys agreed on last time was for $3,286.
That's the entire breakfast.
That's at an estimate of 75. So the committee voted that they didn't want to go over 75.
And out of that, we already paid the down payment.
The deposit that's
Okay, all right.
So 3,286 minus 1,325. That is
So
if
that's
you
what
guys
was
don't,
budget.
you don't in the future add
So
anymore.
We're within budget.
Yeah, and that's just for the breakfast session.
Okay.
You freaked me out when you said how much it is, and I go, wait, you only have 28.
Yeah, I know, that's why it's complicated.
Actually, you guys have spent.
So that was 7A. Are there any questions on any of that? Transfer of funds, anything like that? Okay. I gotta do a point of order here. We left out Amador. I'm making a report that he wanted to make. Right? About the incident today. Didn't you want to talk
That's
about
new
that?
business.
I know,
So then you guys need to open order of business and do an addition.
well,
Wait, but
otherwise,
It's already,
it's always gonna be like 8.
That's
Yeah,
something from him.
yeah, but it's.
it's gonna be the same,
Okay,
it's gonna be the same incident.
all right, so, okay, we'll hold off
Yeah.
for
It's the same.
8A on both of you. Okay? All right,
Same concern.
Yes,
okay.
same issue.
No, it needs to be discussed. Okay. So we are at 7B.
7B.
Okay, the caps update, and this is my understanding, this is the quote from the town vendor. And I did hear from the guy that originally had told me he could possibly do caps, so I heard from him today. And he misunderstood, mostly because he talks a lot, he's worse than I am. He talks a lot and fast and doesn't listen to what the other person is saying. Told him only 7 caps. So he can't do that minimal amount of caps. So thankfully, I came through and we can now discuss the caps.
Yeah,
Right.
in your agendas, you'll see a quote and you'll see a picture of what it looks like. So if you guys just need to decide if that's something you want to move forward with, or it's something you don't want to do. If it's something you want to move forward with, keep in mind, I believe I've mentioned in your last committee meetings, you guys do not have a line item for CAP, so you do have to go to council. So the first step would be approving the quote, if this is the one you want, and then you would take that example to council, so they know what you're trying to purchase, or trying to add a line item.
And how much is the,
157,
157,
That's for 7.
157.
and the logo, the one-time logo fee.
Pretty much if we go by anything else that they do, I have to pay that $45 for them.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Like, let's say, for example, we get 7, but let's say they actually do shirts or something else, and we want to do something else with them, because they already charged us that $45, we just gotta pay for the item.
now, let me ask you. On the cup, is it gonna be embroidered or? Embroidered, or is it gonna be like
Yeah, it is, it says there.
Embroidery, yeah.
okay,
So it is.
Okay, so, I don't know that we take part. I'm not really against the caps, but I gotta take the other side as well. I don't know that we really do that many events where we need caps. Because we're doing them at night. I think they help. Because what's written on these shirts, you know, somebody's gotta be standing and be right up against you to be able to see what shirt says. So the caps are right there, eye level, they're helpful. The only thing is, maybe 2 or 3 of us out of 7 show up at these things. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'd like to see us have them. I don't look good in a cap. I'd probably wear it anyway. But how does everybody else feel? I really want to hear you all speak up and tell me what you think.
I think we need them, because when we've done stuff during the day, it's killed us, it's been hot. And if we need to spend money anyway, if not, we lose it. So, I think it's a good idea.
Are we ready to vote?
Right?
I think so, yeah.
We ready to vote, guys?
Yeah.
We 4, 5.
We have to make a motion to accept the quote, right?
Or to move forward.
So a motion to
Move forward.
approve the quote for the hat.
If we may go ahead just with a second.
Second motion.
Okay, Darwin. So you got Omar with a motion to approve the caps. 7 caps, right?
Mhm.
7, okay, 7 caps. And Darwin was the second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes.
So just to be clear, the motion is to get the caps.
Approve
To
the
move
caps.
forward,
The
Approve
quote for
the
the,
caps.
the quote for the.
The quote or move forward?
Oh, yeah, move forward
Well,
to.
yeah, vote and accept,
Okay.
the, and order the caps,
Yeah,
okay? From this vendor. And that vendor is Permatex of Florida. Okay, did they say how long that would take? Oh, accepted by accepted date. All right, I get it. That's gonna take a little bit of time. And we do have to go before the council for this. Next
It's,
council meeting is,
So next council meeting is April 11th. Now, please remember that there are procedures to be added to the council agenda as a committee, and that means we would need minutes. Whenever you want to go to council, we would need minutes of what the committee is going on for. So in this case, well, these are the minutes I would need. I would need the minutes by like Thursday. If you
Okay.
want to be added to the April, but if not, then you
I'll
would do
get
it.
them done by then, and I'll send it to you,
Yes.
so you need it by. What day is the, what day do you need it by, just so I can put it in?
Thursday the 30th.
Thursday, yeah. the 30th.
Oh, 2 days from now, oh, shoot,
Yeah.
okay.
If not, you can wait till Sunday comes.
I'll try and get it.
And it's starting to get warm. We're starting to accept different activities with other committees and their events and whatever, or other. I haven't committed us for any yet. And by the way, when I do that, that's usually a verbal thing, and everybody kind of knows that we usually help with the haunted house and all that. But we've never really gone through a whole big procedure. We just talked about it at a meeting, and I guess
And
we
we show up.
voted and we show up. So, as soon as we can get these minutes to the council has to approve. They do that night. 'Cause I've never done this way before, so
Yeah,
They-
what you guys
they-
are really requesting, keep in mind is that you have certain line items. You guys are not given budget for caps or any accessories like that. So that's what you're really going to council for them to add a new line item to your budget so that you could use funds.
In the future, when we have a category that says miscellaneous and we avoid all this or no?
well, that's not.
You can request that of council. That's what you would do. You would request that of council. It's up to them to give that to you or not.
No, but I mean, in the future, if we had like a category that just was labeled miscellaneous and then. we
Well, if
would-
we,
Do we have to be that?
Exactly,
specific?
like staff would take direction from council based on what council approves in terms of your budget line item. So they have to give approval to a miscellaneous.
Okay.
But if that's what you want to go to council for, that's fine, and just let them know, like, miscellaneous such as, for example, this time we're doing this.
No, it's just so when we do our budget next year, if we can.
I know that it's not recommended from our budget officer to do that because you want to be transparent with taxpayer funds. And that would maybe not be the best way to do that. But if that's what you guys want to go request in front of council, you guys can request anything.
No, I was just
It's,
thinking in the
it's just
future
really up to them.
to avoid that step, but if it's
Well,
not,
I don't think we can ever gonna avoid that step. Because like you said,
Yeah,
we have to be
because-
transparent.
all right, let me understand, since I'm the one that's got to go for council. So I have to be put on the agenda for that April 11th council meeting.
Yeah, if you guys wish to do so, yes.
Okay, if we, well, we have to go that way, so we're going to make that vote. We make that vote first before I bring it up. And then I'll bring up.
You need
how
a
I'm gonna do
motion
it.
in a second and we can discuss.
Okay. I make a motion that we vote on having to go to the council meeting on April 11th to request the funds, $157 for the caps.
Second,
Thank you. So Nancy made the motion. Omar
and it's
second.
for 411 to go before the council for the caps.
Now, when I go before the council, all right, we're gonna open up a discussion now, right? So when I go before the council, I would like to be able to say, I would like to add a line item miscellaneous.
No,
But the thing is, because it says miscellaneous and we need to be transparent.
Yeah.
We just have to emphasize that that line.
That's what I
is
want to say
add,
in my request that,
for the
that,
caps.
but just make it specifically for the caps. Don't say miscellaneous.
Yeah,
I was just saying miscellaneous for next year's budget.
I don't. When I go before the council April 11th, my question here is, can I say, kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, but be specific at the same time? Say, I would like to have a line item added for miscellaneous items that when they are requested, we be specific about what we're asking for.
You lost
I'm
me.
including
Yeah,
two things here. I'm asking them to approve adding miscellaneous items. And when we ask for miscellaneous items, we be specific what the item is, right?
But then you're
But then you
saying,
have
you're
to
saying,
provide.
exactly, you're saying
have to
open to
provide,
miscellaneous, and then we're also gonna come to you anyways.
To tell you what
To
it
tell you
is
what
for,
it is.
I would just go straight with the caps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you're still going before the council for every item. I'm just trying to include it where we say miscellaneous.
Yeah, that's what he was
And we
complaining and then,
specifically state in our records that it's, for this time, it's for caps. We're on miscellaneous, but we've also got such and such.
Yeah, you guys can request anything of council. That's up to you. Whatever you guys wanna request.
Avoid having to go before them
Yeah.
every time.
but
Again,
but
what you-
because what she's saying, because she knows what they're gonna tell them.
Yeah,
They're gonna tell you the same thing, and we're like, that's good, but we need to be transparent, so instead of being miscellaneous. We have to put exactly what it's for.
You're always gonna have to
and that's
explain
the
it,
process
Yeah.
now already with other committees, so I'll just follow. them.
Yeah.
I got it.
because you're always gonna have to explain it.
Yeah,
So might as well just state what it is and. I was just thinking like, if we
yeah,
prepare a
for
budget for
future,
next year, but it's too much for them, so.
No, it's not too much, they just wanna make sure that,
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, this time we'll make sure that when we do prepare our budget for next year and what we want to do, that we specifically ask, is there anything, do we want jackets now?
but the thing
Sneakers?
is, what I think, instead of putting education material, we should put PSC material. And then there, it can be open for anything that we're gonna get. Then we're gonna use.
We don't have to be more specific,
Yeah, for the
hopefully, we don't have
PNC.
to be more
It
specific.
doesn't have to be specifically for education, it can be paths, it can be, as long as it's,
So we'll save that for the next budget.
Yeah, that,
Remember that.
okay, I will.
right, make a note.
We go before this, but right now on 411, I have to go before the council to request. Now, do I have to say transfer of funds? Of the money and be that specific or just say,
The thing is, okay, so here's what you guys need to determine. Are you requesting additional funds to fund this new line item, or are you going to use whatever funds you already have and transfer it internally?
that's nothing.
It would be our funds.
But if it's for fun, I mean, if it's something that we already have. Why do we need to go to?
You guys don't have a, cause,
Because we
okay,
don't-
so your
It's not
line item,
allocated. It's not
Yeah, it's not allocated for that particular item,
Oh.
like you guys can have $4,000, that doesn't mean you can go buy a steak.
yeah,
Like, you have to use it for what it's
for it
allocated.
is, like, for
Yeah,
the,
that's not right.
yeah.
So that
All right,
would
so
be
we're
the-
gonna go before the council to request allocated funds.
There you go.
From our current budgets. Right,
Specific items, I guess.
from our. Budget balance. This way I let them know we got the money there. Budget balance. For 7 caps.
Full council.
At- I'm writing it down to George, so if the two of us need to clarify, I'm a backup. Okay, where was I? From our budget balance for 7 caps at $157. Right? That's it. So April 11th, whenever that is, we'll put them down. Then without a missing.
I'm losing hair by the minute, I need a cap.
That could be also
Make
health,
some of mine.
health,
Okay, I got nothing on that. We're good.
health issues, that's why we need cops, because we're gonna be out there,
Okay, so we're going to accept this. So we need, we already do a motion to do the caps. Yes, we did.
Yes.
Omar and Darwin.
So,
And Nancy and Omar are going before the council.
so yeah, if I get the minutes on by this, at the end of this week, I can add you guys to the April council agenda. Chair and committee, if you're there, you go up, you make your request. If it gets approved, I will move forward and place you.
Okay, and do we need that in the minutes and all, or it's just? a
No, I'm just
procedure?
breaking it down for you
That's what I'm
guys.
saying. It's a procedure and you'll just go with it. All right, minutes. All right, what's that date you need it by April 30th, March 30th?
That's Thursday. I'll get them to her.
Okay.
She might get them like at 11:59, but you'll get them on the 30th. If you give me your phone number, I'll call you and let you know they're in there. At 11:59.
Okay, 7C.
Okay.
is, the appreciation ceremony. Just so you all know, we got a quote that we can afford 75 attendees rather than 100.
You guys approved it last meeting.
Right.
We did.
And something that you didn't know is, all I know is this, it's upstairs. I don't know if there's an elevator, I don't know if it's all steps,
There's an elevator at the.
there is, but that, thank you, I need that. So, okay, good to know. And then, the process to RSVP with provided deadline to register. Kyle, you're up.
I have to provide the deadline to you guys, but I have it now. So I'll provide the deadline to Officer Amador. And I'll reach out to our fire rep and let them know the deadline of when we need the numbers.
What is the deadline? Just so I can write it.
Yeah.
And we need,
And the process, because we talked about all sorts of things, and we kind of have to keep it limited.
No, you guys already discussed that last meeting. You said that you would just get a final, like he was gonna help us get names and like final numbers. And same thing with fire rep.
yeah, we're not doing Eventbrite.
You're not doing Eventbrite because you're closing it off.
So they will, our reps will supply attendee list.
And I guess the major, or whoever's in, the major for you guys and whoever's in charge of fire says, hey, this is it, it closes on this day, we need a final head count. So people don't show up extra, so we don't run into that problem we discussed, that maybe
Last time, yeah.
extra plates or something,
So we have a maximum, right? For
75.
this,
And we're
no,
gonna do-
75 between both of them.
Yes.
But now each of them, they need to get like, our 75?
30.
No, no,
because you choose-
Sunday
Well,
night,
there's
yeah.
us, it's 75 minus
Total.
us 7. I'll, Jonathan, you know, the
Then,
council, you know, it really is going to be limited to maybe one shift. We don't want all the fire trucks coming around them. And you got 64 and 1 on duty at the same time. And it's usually that breakfast crew that comes, and the others, I'm not saying they get left out, but we don't quite know. It's not as big as y'all think.
So by the time we get the numbers, let's say there's more, we can
Then
play
you
with the
have to
extra plates.
Well,
That's
are
why
we
I'm
gonna
giving
come
you
up
guys
with
a
a deadline?
That's why I'm gonna give you guys a deadline based on the contract provided by the managers.
Yeah, we need to know, like I said, Amador and a fire rep,
So they could probably tell
getting
them,
names. So you're gonna have to walk around with a clipboard and names.
first come, first serve. I guess he could probably tell them, hey, it's
Absolutely.
limited, so first come, first serve. There's a cutoff
Yeah,
number. or
and,
something.
and if you wanna do a waiting list, that's up to you guys how you take this list. Because a lot of them,
Mm,
because I've seen it with elderly affairs, everybody signs up. Am I correct? They all sign up, and then 10 or 20 of them don't show up, and we're paying for meals. Nobody's gonna eat. And then the town hall gets lucky and they get free lunch.
But I wouldn't do a waiting list because that just creates more chaos.
Well, only if last minute, so it's just a thought. It's not a definite thing, but if
Because that's kind of hard to control. Like you don't know until the day of
then
if
we're
that
paying for
person's.
meals. No, give them so much time to also.
Yeah, but what if they don't know
Yeah.
till the day of if they can make it or not? I mean, they'll put themselves on the list, but something happens and then 5 people can't make it. So how do we? Now
So
that
now
5
you're paying
additional
for
people.
meals that you're not. So that's why I said, I hear what you're saying, you can't. Last minute say, hey, we've got a last minute. No show. So put your clothes on, come on over. It can't be like
And
that.
also controlling it
I don't
at
know.
the
I'm
door.
gonna let you guys
Controlling.
handle.
I would just say, first come, first serve. We have a limited amount of seats and leave it at that.
So I have to let the hotel know final, by the way, the contract states that you do a minimum of 75, like you cannot go lower. Like you're set at 75, even if you only have 50 people, you're paying for 75. This is the minimum you're
Too bad.
paying. So you have Saturday, May 20th is the event. So they expect a final count 10 business days before. That's if you guys are gonna add to it. So I need to let them know Monday, May So I'm gonna need a final answer from police and fire Friday, May 5th.
Okay, amazing.
Cinco de Mayo.
Deadline.
Before you buy your beers, you gotta send it out.
You said May 5th.
Now, as a committee, you guys have only agreed to this amount. So if you do decide to add, because police and fire maybe, or whatever, you guys want to add people, you'd have to call a special call meeting and approve a higher rate. But right now, this is all you guys have like agreed to.
Okay, so there's what, 5 actual members of, you know what I mean? We already know police is coming, you know, Almador, Isle. Perhaps, I don't know if she's coming or not, but we already know how many we're going to have on our list right off the bat. Right? So, the final deadline of May 5th. I'm gonna take account right now. Are you guys planning on being there, barring any other things? So maybe Amador would like to start that list tonight with the definites. I know I'm gonna be there no matter what.
Well, I don't know if
So-
you're putting it on, police just needs to give you your final number. The committee needs to take care of.
Of a list,
List,
that's
yeah.
fine.
Yes,
That's
one
fine,
of you need
but-
to make, have
But
to,
he's gotta get it to me then.
but he has to get you police number. He's
Right.
not tallying up everything
Right.
else. That's on the committee.
So that's why I'm asking the committee people that are here right now. is
Even the
this-
ones that aren't here are
you know,
gonna show up. You have to assume that.
So
we're all
everybody
there.
here is pretty much, everybody here is pretty much planning on being there, is my question.
Yes.
Okay. So. You want me to take a list of just, I'll write our names down as being committed. And I'll call, you can always call me last minute and say, hey, forget it.
And that's really for your
So-
internal records. Again, we're committed, as far as Shula's know, we're coming in
Right.
at 75.
Right. But we also want to know signing up. We need to know. Because we want to come to 75. That's the thing. I don't want to pay for meals. And, y'all hopefully have hungry neighbors and dogs.
Well, we all should, we've all shown up. Even people who aren't here show up, so I think it's safe saying that all the committee members will be there. And I'll, maybe, she won't answer the question right now.
Yeah,
And she's going to be a +1.
I'll probably be there.
Yeah, I made you blush. All right, anything else to discuss about that? We've done Shula so many times, but I've never had to really be the one to mostly take care of that. Our contract with them does mention the microphone and the podium and all those things, but usually someone else has mostly handled everything, and I don't know about, any type of music. We're not doing dancing, none of that stuff. We're just gonna eat and present the awards, and that's it.
Yeah, we don't have time for it,
No. And last time, I guess they know, or I'll let them know that we need a microphone, so it's, I'm sure it's included in the.
It's included on the contract.
That's taken
Yeah.
care of.
If anybody thinks of anything else you want to say or do there, or whatever, we can.
And keep in mind that the time is from 9 to 11.
So,
Did you happen to find out in that contract if there was, because when it was 100 in the big room, they were charging us a hurry up and clean up type fee because there was a wedding coming in behind us. So I don't think anybody is booked after us in that smaller room upstairs. Do we know the name of the room? Have they told us? where it
Here it
was?
doesn't say the upstairs, it says Grand Slam Ballroom.
Yeah, that's downstairs.
That's downstairs.
Yeah. So confirm that contract is the one.
This one says 75.
Oh, as long as it says 70 Grand Slam Ballroom.
That's their ballroom downstairs.
That is specified in the contract.
I thought the 75 was upstairs.
Grand Slam Ballroom? I can ask them, but I don't think so.
You know what? I'll confirm. Because I think the 75 is upstairs.
I think that's the only ballroom they have. the downstairs one.
By the bar behind.
They have stuff upstairs, but it's not a ballroom. It's meeting rooms and it's a space that's like an indoor kind of terrace thing, but it's not a ballroom.
You know what, I heard from Jonathan, this, what's his name? Goliath, or whatever his name is. I'll check in with him. Because I understood 75 upstairs. And the Grand Slam Ballroom is the one downstairs where we were going.
Yeah, the ballroom is downstairs, but that's what the contract says.
Yeah, so now if they set up for us in the ballroom, we're gonna be committed. 75 people in the ballroom, which is more expensive to rent.
Well, at this point, the contract has been signed. This is what you guys approved.
Yeah,
last
once
meeting.
this is, once
It's
this
just
is approved, they can put us on the roof, they have to stick to this.
Will you send me a copy of that?
This is the same one you brought to the meeting last month. That's what we signed. We didn't sign anything different. I can send you a copy, but I'm saying this
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
change.
send me a copy of it and get to look at it first. You didn't say I was organized. All right, guys,
Raffles and gift cards.
yeah, we've done those in the past. And because we're supposedly spending some less money on this particular room, we didn't vote on this, and I'd like to vote. Do you want to do raffles and gift cards and two things? Gift cards can be given to just the awardees along with the plaque. So let's say if that's a $50 gift card for each of them, or a $25 gift card for each of them. But then if we do raffles, then we're gonna need some kind of donations or whatever. Or I'd have to look again at our budget. We could take some money out of our budget and if you say to me, yeah, I'd like to have a raffles too, then maybe I'd get raffles. I don't want the raffle gifts to be the ones with the advertising. I think that's tacky.
Are we
So
kind of tight for donations, like time-wise? I mean,
I don't know, that's the thing, and donations, people who want to donate. Usually, I think the gift cards should come out of our, let's simplify, gift cards should come out of our budget. And do a $50 gift card for each. And that's $100, that's not gonna kill us. Right? Just a suggestion, or if you want to do a total of $50, but I think at least the gift cards for the awardees, and then raffles, we'll look into it, and I'll do my best to get answers right away. And you leave it up to me, it's all up to you, because that's
Just bring
something that's
back
gotta be
information.
donated.
because we might be tight on going around asking for donations.
And usually when they do something like that, unless it's cash and then I go out and buy things, it's all gonna have advertising on it, and I think that's tacky.
I think gift card is probably the best way to go.
And leave it at that for the 2 awardees. Good, okay. So no raffles.
Even
Well,
if
we're
we-
giving you breakfast.
even if we want to be specific, I mean, since it's public safety themed, lose. Just get a gift card there, yeah, you know, I don't know, $25, $50, whatever. and
Lose,
lose
money
their own-
supply.
yeah, or fire or police.
Well, maybe he would have, gift cards of his own that he wants to do. You're talking
That's
about for raffles now.
Right, for the. Are we talking about, or the
The
winner, the recipients, yeah.
Yeah, we can get the, instead of gift, yeah, like a gift certificate, whatever amount you agreed on, get it from Luz. Instead of, you know, because everybody can use like Luz
Right.
and firemen too.
Exactly.
Instead of like from Target or something.
All right, so lose police supply. We don't have any police supply or even fire extinguishers, companies within Miami Lakes. Usually our vendors come from.
Right, as
Miami
far as
Lakes
like,
area.
for donations, you mean?
For the recipients, plaque recipients.
To solicit for donations? Or? I'm confused.
All right. Luz is not in Miami Lakes. They're in Hialeah.
Oh, because, okay.
No. So I could still go to them and ask. But if there's anyone within the Miami Lakes limits, I'm asking now if anybody knows of one that is an alternative or a first person to ask because they are.
There's,
Well,
yes, I do know,
town.
Andy's,
And
Andy's
yeah,
police supply,
And that's my.
Andy's right there.
But, okay, for donations, yeah, but if you're gonna go to Lou's, I think that's where we have to put the money and just get like a gift certificate or
Right.
something. Just like you said, he is out of the town.
And listen, even they might, because when when Virginia Gardens, when we do our annual police appreciation dinner, whatever. They would always donate something. I mean, there were times that they would even donate, we would raffle, we would have like the officer of the year. And I remember they would donate even a firearm, stuff like that,
Who would
lose,
lose?
so.
Anybody particular there, or do you want to talk to
I could
Luz?
probably, yeah, I could probably talk to them and see.
I mean, I haven't been.
Yeah,
there.
no, I could do that, see, yeah, well, I mean, something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll be more than happy to,
well.
make.
So,
I'm sorry.
No,
No, I was saying, I'm pretty sure we could,
All right, stay in touch with me and let me know. So you're gonna talk to Luz.
Yeah, maybe a
and I'll
couple of
talk
gift
to-
cards or whatever, maybe something, yeah, for
But
particular.
we're only going, we're not gonna do raffles, let's put it that way. That's the bottom line. I think it's simpler.
But again,
not
that's why I'm
do
saying that should be specific to the recipients,
Right, so you're only talking
which is public safety.
if either of the two or even some kind of fire rep or somebody, it's, they only have to do for two people. It's just simpler that way. For the
Or whatever,
awardees.
I'm just throwing a number out.
Yeah,
there.
it's
What
just
if they
like-
give, hey, listen, we're gonna give you 4 gift cards each for $50. Yeah, that gives us that leeway, because again, I believe last year we had 2 officers, right?
Mhm.
They were the recipients.
Or
You had more than 2 last year.
Well, 2
I think
police
we had-
officers, and then they were the fire captain.
Yeah, there were 3 last year.
Right, that's what I'm saying, so.
Yeah.
If they give 4, then the recipients are taken care of, and then you can do a raffle with the other 2, and,
For us,
people.
I'll let me deal with that.
and you're gonna do, what did I just say? Andy's, you said.
I can do Andy, I'll do both. I know someone at Andy's, because we get stuff from them.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's one of the things that I wanna mention. I think we should pick either Lou or Andy, one of the two, because.
I said we do both, because
Yeah,
what if one of them says no, the other one says yeah.
They both, well, no, you can talk to both, but what I'm saying, at the time of, the breakfast, we should have one of the two companies, at the place, or giving us,
Like a
Yeah, because I think
sponsor
it was-
type thing, like have their name or something.
Yeah, because I think they're both competitive, and, I mean, I don't want it to.
No, but we're not saying that.
Remember, it's a donation.
It's
It's
a
just,
donation, bro.
they'll give it to us and then we do what we want. We'll give it. we
This
wrap
is
it
what
up,
we already-
we just-
I would be a bit surprised if whatever one you were talking to today wouldn't ask you,
Yeah, but
is the
unfortunately,
opposite guy doing
right,
anything?
and I think we would all agree, unfortunately, we're behind the 8 ball, where I think what you're talking about is more of like sponsorship.
Yeah.
That for whatever, for, I don't know, I'm just throwing a number out there, for $500, we'll put a banner with your name and this is the name.
No, we can hit them up, we
So-
can hit them up with sponsorships for next year to add to our budget, to add to
Yeah,
our
we'll give it to
breakfast.
Right, but in the meantime, this
Take
is
the
what,
sponsor.
Donation.
thank you.
So we need you to donate.
I mean, listen, and again, just somewhat related, when I was bid in Miami Lakes here at Station 1, we would have an open house. And yours truly, which I live here, I would go to Vicky's Bakery and say, hey, this is what we're having, would you care to donate? And they would give us a little thing on croquetas or that.
Yeah, they're very
Day
good
up,
about
I was
donating.
like, pick it up and.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that definitely I could do.
We're gonna let Darwin work his magic. There we go. Okay, and the Plex quote, the vendor, the amount, 1 police department, 1 fire department. I believe that was $156 from Trophyland. They're in Hialeah. And I already got the quote from Jackie. You have it also?
They haven't sent me that,
They haven't sent you anything?
not this year.
Okay, well. I will talk to her. Well, I have to give her the names anyway. We need these names. So
Well, you guys need to agree on a
So-
quote and what you're gonna be spending.
I believe.
So, If you have an estimate, it would be great for you guys to
So
compare,
think of what we paid last year,
right, like,
with two.
just to make a motion and a proper vote, you guys should agree on what amount you're willing to spend.
That's you. Yeah, I'm trying to find it here. I didn't give you anything?
Not this year.
Yeah, but I thought I talked about it at last week's month's meeting.
It was mentioned, but the quote was never actually, the copy of the quote was not brought to the meeting.
Okay, I will make sure that,
But if that's the case, that's what I'm saying, you guys should get it out of the way to vote on your amount right now, because if now we cannot move forward with ordering it. If you agrees on that price. Or just. No more than just agree on what, what don't you wanna go over a certain amount?
So we need a motion. for
trophy
that.
land quote, 2 plaques, $165. So I'm sure on that. And I will call her tomorrow and have her send it to you, okay?
So we
Yeah,
need
but
to
I'm
make a
saying
motion.
as a committee, you guys should agree on the price
Yeah.
right now,
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Okay,
or what don't you wanna go? over?
okay, so somebody make a motion.
I make a motion to accept trophy lands.
Second motion.
Okay,
The quote from Trophy Land not to go over 165.
well, it's 165. I don't know. I don't believe there's tax visits for the town of my lakes, is what she told me. So let's say $180, not to go over 180. Okay, all right, so my amended motion is to accept trophy land 165 estimate, the 2 truck plaques, and not to go over $180. One police, one fire. But we need those names soon, because if somebody comes up with 2 names for police and we're stuck, we're not doing retirees anymore.
Right, you said that.
Yeah,
We
you've
can't
already
do that.
voted on.
Yeah. So,
Okay, we need to vote on your motion. We need to vote on the motion you just made.
okay, we had a second.
Darwin seconded.
That's what I missed, okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay,
And just to verify, not to exceed 180, correct?
right. Well, I get confused when this is taken notes. Not to exceed 180. Pass. All right, so Al, you're gonna take care of the police and fire with the names, the invitation.
I'm just getting a final count. And I'm letting them know by when we need that final number and to please confirm the police officer.
Okay, the last thing is,
The fire guy, right? And then who's the fire guy we're gonna reach out to?
You guys have a fire up. He just hasn't come from me, but you guys do have a fire up, so that's who I would reach
Okay.
out to.
all right, and the last thing that I have is, I wanted to know if we wanted to have the color guard attend, and I'll tell you what, I'd like to see them there, but what breaks my heart, but I've seen at so many events that they come to town hall. We have the color guard, and then they leave. It's just like, you know, here's your hat, what's your hurry?
They don't eat?
No, they just did something at town hall here and, they leave.
So I would probably have maybe a table specifically set up.
It's additional bodies.
A lot of kids though. It's 10 meals more at
In
least.
the color guard as in law enforcement, or you're talking about the explorers?
I get the kids. The kids that I see it come to other meetings and stuff, they come and they leave.
Well, it just so happens that this year we're limited on numbers, so just keep that in mind. If you want to invite them, it's gonna be additional. I don't know how
Well,
many people come. but-
no, usually where I've seen them. I'll refresh my memory. What the heck thing did we just have at town hall where Maria Kramer had something out in the foyer here?
But we didn't
Just
have
2 days
anything
ago.
police related to that.
The color guard came and left, didn't they?
No.
And I don't know, it was some event at town hall. They were all like me. All right, so we'll think about that for another year. How's that?
What's the difference
Okay, and we'll
between,
put it in our budget if we have to. Go ahead, babe.
Last year we didn't do it and I thought it was fine, you know.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
very, you know, it's a breakfast, it's not like an afternoon thing, you know, it's just, you know, the color guard is very,
Formal.
the one thing, yeah, formal, and you're gonna have, you know,
Right.
tons of people.
Plus, when it's the kids, you know, then the parents come, they gotta drive the kids or whatever, and it's like, again, now we're not inviting them to eat, and it's a big amount of.
And you're gonna have the kids eat and not the
Like
parents?
said, something to think about next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be more money and we can
With the
allocate more
sponsors.
funds,
Yeah,
but like you said, I mean, it's.
all right, just something that I didn't want to leave off the table.
I mean, this is 2 hours we're talking about. That takes time.
And you can't have the kids eat and the parents not eat,
I know,
so it gets crazy.
just wanted to bring it up.
But
All
what I
right.
noticed about the kids too is that, for instance, there'll be, let's say, 3 doing the color. But then like 5 more are there, walking with them, not holding anything, but they're also part of it. And then you have, there's like 20 people that show up because they'll fill up the council chambers. And then when they leave, you're like, oh my God, they all came with the kids. And that's like 20 people that show up.
don't we have the police doesn't have a color guard?
Yes,
Why can't we use them?
it's been done before with.
But it's still
Well,
additional
but you're
people.
still inviting people that might not ordinarily come. You know, it's awkward.
We'll talk about
We
it
can
for
talk about
next
it
year.
next year.
Yeah.
The next year,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awkward. We'd have to answer more questions. All right, anything else on the breakfast? Any more things to? Do we have a deadline to give police and fire to get awardees' names?
Yeah, 5.
Well, that's for the RSVP. I'm just
uh,
telling them by end of April, like that they have at least 20 days to get the award.
By end of April,
That's for who the recipients are.
right?
Yeah.
To turn in names.
April 20th, you said April 20th. Will be, award.
It's by end of April. Yeah, so that, no, there's no more. than that. It's just to get the award, people enough time to make it.
Now, after 24 hours, it's not fresh in my mind anymore. So we're on to D now.
Yeah, 7-day social media. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. We had talked about accepting that list that was presented a while back. It was just a reminder. How do we want to handle that? Just,
You guys had discussed just having the communications team kind of put out like a PSA, like social media, just like a small little post.
well, I did that
Yeah,
sort of like on my own, on my page kind of thing. But, is there any? We're just gonna leave it up to each member to maybe make mention of it, or to?
no, what you guys discussed was just giving that list over, like you guys already reviewed the list and you already handed it over to us.
So that'll be your responsibility to.
So we're actually gonna be, just so you guys are up to date. I'm gonna set up a meeting with Brandon and my other colleagues from the communications team
so that we can go over like what the vision of that is exactly, because it was very vague, it was just, okay, make a post, but that's not much information. So, I know that he was part of the committee when you guys last did it. So I'm just gonna have him meet with them so that they can go over and finalize the details of what that's gonna look like. So hopefully launch it now in April.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say some kind of mention, even if it's just words and whatever, it doesn't have to be something live with a video and we've got to pay for all that. So I'm gonna make
Yeah, I know, you guys mentioned something like
a
very
visual
simple.
announcement. Okay. All righty. New business,
8A. Okay,
okay,
I can go.
whichever you, I want to hear from both of you, please.
Today I work over at Miami Lakes K-8. And today we had an incident out there, and this guy is well known to you guys, because the cops are there like almost every week.
Just so you know, I recognize the guy's name when I saw it on TV. Why do I know that name? So this is
Yeah.
not good.
So what he does is, he usually stands out in his front lawn or on the sidewalk. Today he ventured out into the street. Sometimes he tries to direct traffic. He approaches cars, tells people to lower their window. Does all kinds of crazy stuff. Says he's gonna threaten the kids. Some people said they've seen him with a machete. I haven't, but doesn't mean it didn't happen. So he's become like a real nuisance. And today he was arrested, by school board police. Because he was threatening the kids again, and he may already be out. So I just wanted to bring that to your, for you guys to be aware that it's an ongoing issue. And I'd like to request, because my administration at the school is upset and the parents are upset. And I don't know if maybe tomorrow they can have some extra units in the area when the kids come in or something, because the parents, everybody's upset. It made the news today. And people are scared, and we had the Tennessee shooting yesterday. And this guy might be pissed because of what happened today and take it up a notch tomorrow or in the future. So I'm just, making you guys aware that the parents, the administration is upset. I don't know, he just seems to always cause problems. The police is there often, because I've seen him, so.
Is it only that particular school and area? or-
Yeah, it's right across the street.
So it's just convenient to go right there.
He lives right across the street. All he does is cross over and start creating chaos, and,
I'll tell you that our guys, trespassed him from the school. And that's what led to the arrest from the school board after, because police had gone out before, they trespassed him, he came back. Because he was actually, when he first started, he was saying, he was pacing back and forth on the sidewalk saying that there was not going to be a shooting at that school today,
I think he changed his tone later.
right?
Because
And
he was doing this and towards the school.
And
And when I saw on the news.
that's when it all came out, but that was after.
Yeah, he was
He had
threatening.
started earlier.
Yeah, because I get there at 11 and I thought maybe it started like at 10:30, because when I get there, the school's on lockdown, there's tons of cops and stuff.
30.
That's what they told me. The kids told me, no, this started when we were getting dropped off early in the morning.
He wanted to give the kids, hats. And that he nothing was gonna happen to the kids. So I look, man, just go back home and okay, thank you. Nothing's gonna happen here, thank you. Calm down, just go back. And then he's pacing up and down. The thing is that he's pacing up and down on the sidewalk, screaming or talking loud. We can't arrest him for that. For him walking up and down the sidewalk arrested because we don't have disorderly conduct anymore. So we can't arrest him.
Why is that? I mean,
They
I'm
took-
asking. I don't know.
They took it away last year, 2 years ago. They took it away. There's no disorderly conduct. So now it's your right to do whatever you want, basically, until you actually break like the law. A crime that's not disorderly, like we had
Yeah, if he's
before.
in the middle of the street,
Right.
stopping traffic and stuff like
Right,
that.
but if he's pacing up and down the sidewalk screaming, saying, whatever he's saying, he's fine. I mean, where it escalated was he started like making.
Yeah.
You know, like gun signs and stuff like that, and then apparently he started saying that
Threatening
there
the
were
officer.
gonna be,
And then he.
there was gonna be a shooting or something like that, and that's when he was actually able to be arrested.
But you guys were there often. Cause they had Saturday school and I was working on Saturday and I got there at 8 and 2 minutes later, the cops were in front of his house. It's like every.
He's been Baker acted a bunch of times, his mom, had him, an ex parte order. Was taken to Citrus.
After
They let
72
him out the next
hours,
day, you know, that type of stuff.
after 72 hours, you know.
I don't know where it's gonna end with him.
But it's, the parents are scared, the administration's scared, especially after Tennessee. It just happened that he did this today after Tennessee yesterday. And you never know when he
But
might.
you think that the
That's what-
Tennessee incident is what?
Well, the school's concerned because of him, because he's crazy.
He's a problem anyway,
Right.
even with
But
what's happening else.
it doesn't help that Tennessee happened yesterday and he's making these comments today. Everybody got stirred up even more. They're already behind alert when it comes to him. So they asked me, because they know I'm on the public safety committee, could you please let them know if we could have some extra units tomorrow morning? Just in case he decides to step it up or something.
I'll tell you what the good thing about the school is, you have the school board officer that's there. And you also have our guys that are there, and that's 2. So there's 3 officers there in front of him. In front of his, you know what I'm saying, like the 2 officers there's one of Ortiz is right in the corner of where he's at.
Are they
When
there?
you look back, you can see the house.
Are they there in the morning?
Yeah. they're-
Okay. No, because I get there
Right in
at 11,
traffic.
so.
Yeah,
So
so both of
that's
them
not
are there
good.
already and the school board officers there.
You know, I'm just realizing I had to go over and pick up something. We'll talk about the shirt for the Cars for a Cure, but I had to go pick up my shirt, which is right there at 139 and 67th Ave. And when I came home, I ended up going down in front of, you know, where the school is. So that's what all that police cars and the parents and the kids and the.
Yeah.
That was today?
That's what
Yeah.
I thought it was an accident because the way the cars were all parked, I thought, all right, they moved off the street. It was just a bad accident. I didn't realize, I didn't till now, I'm putting the connection together. Okay, I
The
got it.
parents showed up early to take their
Oh,
kids
yeah.
out, the media was out there. It was like
Yeah.
total. But he's got a history of acting up, so, I mean.
Yes, he got multiple arrests.
He's been arrested.
Familiar with Baker acting people.
Maybe 6 or 7 years ago, he abducted his wife at the time. And tied her up and all that, and they went to get him at the house, because that's not his house, that's the mom's house. He was living somewhere else, but he took her to the house and then. He was arrested, obviously, for that. He was arrested a bunch of times.
And now he was dating a girl that I think has kids at the school, but they broke up. So now there's a whole other issue. I don't know if they can put pressure on them. I mean, because I guess she's got to get like a court order to institutionalize him or something.
But she did, she got an ex parte and they let him out the next day. Because, you know, she's going through the steps, although I don't think she's done the eviction because apparently he's living there.
Yeah.
She needs to evict him. I don't know if he's do that because what I was told is that she left. And that he's the one that's living there now, so.
It's everybody thinks that it's gonna take an unfortunate incident for him to like be put wherever he needs to be put, because he's been doing it a while, supposedly. I don't know. I don't know what can be done, but I just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention.
Okay. Is there any further business we need to talk about? Anything else coming up?
Okay,
We've got Cars for a Cure coming
the
up,
wellness fair Saturday.
with elderly affairs.
Yeah, but a lot of different, there's gonna be a lot of vendors there apparently.
For the health fair?
This is
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, there's a few,
This-
we're gonna have free workouts, like, free yoga session, a HIIT workout and Zumba, and then we have a parent workshop for anybody that's interested on positive parenting by the FIU Center for Children and Families. And then you also have all your vendors for, you know, different causes, different diseases, things for kids camps. To keep the kids healthy, and then things for seniors as well.
Reiterate, it's 75. We have to keep in mind when you talk to anybody and invite them to this thing or whatever, get a list, and what we're gonna do. We need to send the information to the council and invite them. How does that work with the town?
Council is made aware of our events the second they're put on a calendar because they are included. Now, if you guys want to personally invite them as an extra touch to make sure they're confirmed for the event, you can go ahead and do that. You guys are more than welcome to, and I can send them an email as well, but that's pretty much it.
Do they have to confirm?
I was gonna say, can
That's
you,
up to, I mean, I can ask them to confirm,
you
but I
send an email
can't
to
guarantee
them?
that they'll say yes or no. Sometimes they don't answer.
all right, but in the past, are we able to send them an email letting them know we're having this event? And we need a head count, and can they confirm
Yeah, I can send an
name
email.
and amount? Because maybe they wants to bring the husband and the, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I can send a request. The request is always sent for the events. Again, I will let you know if I get a response.
Okay. Okay, so, just gonna nail it down and do the best we can. We got 75 meals to pay for, and we don't want to leave out council. This, they're pretty much at the top of the list of invites. Okay, anything else? Any announcement? Nothing, honey?
Do you need a number from us if we're bringing guests, or are we just doing
Well,
us?
Are they gonna eat? If they're gonna eat, we need to know. You know, but
I'm
we're
just throwing
paying
it out
for a
there.
minimum of 75. I think if we had to pay for a couple more or whatever.
Remember, they always give, what is it like, up to 10, yeah.
They do 5% additional, just in case. But again, as a committee, you guys have not agreed on an additional cost. Try to know in advance of the event in case you have to, you know, in case you have to make a call for a higher amount. So just stay on top of your list as well.
So we can let you know by 5/5, I guess?
Yeah,
Let Nancy know by 5/5. Do I have to make a motion for this?
By 5,
By 5/5, we'll let you know if we're going and if we're bringing people, I
Right.
guess. Just so we don't have surprises. Let you know, or let you know that,
committee commitment.
yeah, you guys have to keep final count,
okay.
the committee.
We'll let,
I will take care of getting the numbers from police to fire for you.
so we'll let you know.
Okay, motion to adjourn,
I'm motion.
second, Darwin,
So Johnny first.
motion, Johnny.
8:27.